Thank you guys all for your patience while everybody in the market centers has been grabbing their lunches. We are going to have Aurora talk in just a minute here. They're going to introduce our wonderful sponsors so you guys can all learn who your delicious food is coming from.
Hey, Amy?
Yes.
You sound a bit low.
I don't know. Maybe I need new batteries. Is this better if I hold it closer?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
the placement of your microphone.
I'll clip it higher. Thank you. I was also whispering, apparently.
Amy, can you tell me, do you hear me? This is Kathy in Glen Ellen.
I'm caught. Kathy, were you asking if we could hear you? Because we can.
Can't or can?
We can. You're good.
Cool, thanks.
And we heard Naperville. And can we hear Aurora? Linda, we see you.
Can you hear us?
Oh, we hear you. Yep, we can hear you. I should have stopped the started the recording after we did our sound check. That's okay. Now everybody will see what it takes to put this together. All right, who do you have with you in Aurora?
Okay, hi everybody. In Aurora, Melissa Grippy with Guaranteed Rate provided a lovely lunch for us from Frisco. However, Melissa had an urgent dental procedure and is all novocained up and can't speak with us. So I will speak to Melissa. She has been one of my preferred lenders for many years. I get a lot of heads nodding from experienced agents. And Melissa with Guaranteed Rate is definitely someone that has a ton of experience and always does a great job. I always feel highly confident when I refer Melissa. So Melissa, thank you for the great lunch. I'm sorry that thank you, Melissa. So we have Melissa here in Aurora. Naperville, you have Josh Martinez, correct?
Yep. You want to come up, Josh, and say a quick word? Awesome. So here's it. You can hold that or clip it, whatever works best. Oh, camera's up here,
Oh,
but
gotcha. Hey
you have an
guys,
audience
thank
right
you.
here as well.
Appreciate it. Yep. Just a quick commercial on me. I've been lending for about 15 years. My branch is in Oak Brook. Outside of our products, I did put information in the folders that you guys have, but I would say the main thing with us is we're very process orientated. The two things we care about is the client's experience, right? Which is everything from the processing, the communicating side of things, everything you guys typically complain about. If you have a bad experience of lending, we focus on those things. And then obviously closing on time. So those are really the two main things. I think this is a technology class. So we're big on technology. Our app lets us do everything from applications to sending out pre-approvals, running files. We have hybrid closings, which basically cut down the wait times on closing. So we're a big company lending power wise, but sort of small in terms of having everything in-house. But yeah, I appreciate you guys' time and having us here. So
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. In Downers Grove, we have Nate Odom. Nate, did I say that correctly?
Yeah, you did. Hi, everyone. Excuse me, Nate Odom. Thanks to the Leadership Council, all the individual committee groups for, allowing me to be one of the sponsors of this great event. Appreciate everyone's time and just taking time out of your days to be here. And appreciate all that you do for the respective communities and those members in the communities. I think I'm with Country Financial, and I think it's so great. In my experience, people will work so hard in their business, but won't slow down enough or sacrifice enough to work on their business. And I used to literally make several large organizations here in Chicagoland lots of money just working with them to improve upon their efficiencies. Because in any business, if you can improve on efficiencies, you can improve overall effectiveness. It was about 8 years ago before I got back into insurance. And ironically, the thought that had led me back into insurance almost led me into real estate, which was, I thought if I could just help people. I thought, what, no better way to help people than with one of the largest transactions or decisions that they'll ever make in life. And obviously I'm not as sharp as most of you folks and got back into the insurance business, but really our businesses are driven by the exact same thing, which is people. It was Abraham Lincoln that said that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I care about each and every one of you. Wish that could have been in person today. There were some unforeseen circumstances that didn't allow me to do that. But yeah, as you guys invest time today working on your business and how to streamline such an important transaction, I hope that you'll pause and consider the importance of a partnership with an insurance professional like myself. Thanks again. Have a great day.
Hey, thank you. And Glen Ellen, I have a question mark. So whoever provided the nice lunch in Glen Ellen, please speak up.
In Downers Grove, we have Roland Gomez from Team Gomez with Cross Country Mortgage.
Is there like a camera? Oh, there it is. Sorry, I can't see myself and I'm not very photogenic anyway. But my name is Roland Gomez. I'm the branch manager for Team Gomez. I brought a processor, which everybody hides those girls in the background. We actually let ours out occasionally. It's like a caged animal with COVID, right? And then we have Mike and Jay. So one thing that we would stress on how we benefit everybody is we have a team. This is just part of the team. And we do a lot of loans. So it's easy to make mistakes if you're not careful. So we have what's called a deal killer list. Every lender should have this. This is the thing that you want to check in the very beginning. Kim's job is to check and make sure I didn't miss anything. Jay's job is to check and make sure I didn't miss anything. Same with Mike. So
nobody has to check me because I'm always right.
nobody. One thing I would, want everybody to do is we don't have a lot of time to talk, obviously, but if you have any questions or concerns or any deals that seem weird or you want a different opinion, reach out to us. Kim, as much as she hates it, solves all kinds of problems because we are expert at creating problems, right?
Yes.
That's what we do. We want answers fast. Everybody does, but we need help. And this is a team and we're here to help you. Roland Gomez, Team Gomez, Palos Heights, Illinois, Cross Country Mortgage.
Good.
Yeah, anything to say?
Yeah, just one thing is with COVID and stuff, I know a lot of you have probably had some credit issues with job history or just the credit scores drop because they've missed some payments. In the office, I do all of the credit repair for all of our clients that come through. I don't work with a company here locally because I just haven't found one that I like. So we're working with a company out of Colorado, and right now we have a steady stream of clients that we've put in. And about 6 months later, they're coming back out. They're writable. We're writing them. The realtors are able to go out and do the business that they wanted to do 6 months ago. So if you've had any turn downs, if you've had any rough deals that didn't make it through, give us a shot. Let us take a look at it. You just never know what we could do for you.
What's the other thing? One other thing is we do a verification, a full verification of employment on every single client. We do not issue a pre-approval unless we have a full verification of employment. You guys will know that with COVID and unemployment and furloughs and people changing jobs, there's a lot of stuff that can happen with that. So Kim's job is to look at every one of those verifications. As much as she loves doing it, she looks at the numbers and we make sure we have an income that we can use. So we never give a pre-approval letter that we can't close based on income. It just won't happen. I mean, there's something could happen with collateral. We all know that, but income, not going to happen. So again, thank you very much. And I wish you guys all luck. We're here to support you. Anything we can do to help. We're always answering the phone. That's what we do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who'd be next?
Lots of food, don't forget.
Thank you.
All right. I think Noel is going to take over from here.
Yep, awesome. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, thanks to all of our sponsors at each of the market centers that contributed for lunch for all you folks. definitely reach out, right? They earn the right to, earn some of your business as well. So again, we thank you guys as well. Welcome to Command Day. Command Day is probably one of our most successful, training classes that we do. We always pack the room with it. As you all know, Command can be a huge monster, right? But I think if we kind of divvy it down into small incremental things, that's what helps us just progress over time. And opportunities is one of my favorite parts of Command. Just really being able to see your pipeline and manage the transaction, right? Once you get a client, right, like what's the best way to help grow your business? Well, do a really good job with the current clients that you have and earn referrals off of that. So we're going to be covering quite a few things within transaction management. We're going to go over the opportunity checklists. In Naperville, we've printed out a copy of the buyer and listing checklist, so you guys can have as a reference point, right? Keep what you like, what you don't like, replace, make it your own. It's everyone's experience through this can be truly unique. So feel free to make adjustments and make it your own experience. So we're going to go over that. We're also going to cover DocuSign, which I meet with a lot of agents. Some agents are very efficient at it, and some agents are taking 45 minutes to write an offer. And I'm like, how? I don't understand, right? So that is the goal today, is to really just teach you best practices and a very efficient way to write these documents, right? I did a speed run the other day, and I did everything from creating the opportunity, like brand new, finding a listing, downloading the disclosures, and writing, putting all the offer documents together like if it was in real life. And I did that in under 8 minutes. So if I can teach you how to do that, especially once you have things going on, you can certainly cut that time back, especially once you have the opportunity created and things like that. So that's what we're going to cover today. Amy, anything else on your end?
Unmute for Zoom. Yeah, we have a couple other things. Thank you for introducing the day. We actually have one of our Downers Grove members who's going to give us a little reminder of what happened last Command Day. So Amy's going to keep you guys updated on that.
Hey y'all, I hope you all are doing well. Happy Tuesday and happy Command Day. So last Command Day was back in August. We have Command Days about every other month. And last August, we focused on lead generation. So we talked about what it is like to farm your area, your prospective neighborhood, and what it takes to be successful in that. We also talked about postcards and everything available for you in designs, as with designs is in Command. So everything that's available for you to do all of your mailers. And we also talked about, who else remembers? We have a ton of new people. Oh yes, and everybody's Facebook. Everybody's favorite is Facebook. So we also talked about creating designs to post on Facebook and how you can post through Command to your Facebook to help track your activities there. So that's what we did last week, or not last week, 2 months ago, last Command Day. It feels like last week.
Can everybody still hear on this mic? On Zoom, can you hear us all?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is actually pass over back to Glen Ellen because we've got a fun little activity to start the day.
Margaret and I were doing rock, paper, scissors to see who came up here. Can you guys hear me? Hi, everyone. Thanks for participating today. Joe from the Downers office has put together a survey. We did this a couple months ago. Found it very useful for the tech committees moving forward on education topics that you guys want to hear about in the future. So Joe's put together a survey Amy, do you have that link or the QR code? I think it's going to come up on the screen. But if you fill this out
Put
before
the
the
link
end
in
of,
the chat, and I'm getting the QR code right now.
all right, so the link is in the chat. She's going to throw the QR code up here. If you fill it out before the end of the day, we're going to do a drawing at the end of Command Day for a Bluetooth speaker. So we want your feedback. Thanks, guys.
And I think we can take this time to talk about, since you guys are here, if there are any specifics other than, so the form Joe put together, a great form to kind of let us know what the overarching ideas are. But if there's something that you guys specifically want to cover, we'd love to hear that too, or in more detail. So what do you guys want to learn more about? Who wants to hear? Pass that around to anybody that wants to learn more about things. Any market center, anybody at any market center, what are you guys looking to learn about? No, nobody wants to learn anything?
How to write an offer using Command and DocuSign.
Okay, well, we're gonna do that today, so you're in the right spot.
Yay, that's why I'm here.
Well, let's do two things. Let's do what is everybody looking to get out of today specifically, and if you have a topic that is not transaction management specific, what else would you like to see? And this is for everybody participating in Command Day. I'm looking at all you guys. So what do you want to learn today? What do we want to get out of today? And what else are we looking to learn in the future? I see in the chat, making templates and designs, automating email campaigns.
DocuSign and getting it done quicker.
Hi, this is Naperville, and I'd like to learn how to nurture a client and opportunities from beginning to end.
Ooh, good one.
Thanks.
They're all good.
I think we have a couple more, Amy.
Okay, I can't write this fast. You guys are awesome.
I'd like to learn how to utilize the tasks in each of the opportunities.
Ah, okay. Okay, client updates.
What'd you say?
Oh, I just said I need to learn how to use Command better in general.
That's okay though.
Yeah.
Good one.
Activity reports, general command usage. You come to all the Command Days, you'll pick up something new. We missing anything else? I'm gonna have to take a picture of this so we remember it all. Yeah? Anything else from Zoom? Oh, here we go. Universal automated campaigns for funneling new contacts. Ooh. Okay, we have a little bit of time, so I'm going to dig into that a little bit. Who thinks that they want to use universal campaigns? Who thinks they want to use targeted campaigns?
Amy,
Mark?
maybe
Yeah.
Amy, maybe you should ask if people know the difference between the two.
Yeah, that's what we were just getting those questions here. So a universal campaign would be something that you're going to bulk send to the entire database or entire group of people receiving the communication. A targeted one is going to be targeted more towards a specific category of people, or maybe in response to one specific Facebook ad. What do you guys think about that? Which one do you want to use? There's no right or wrong answer. It could be both. It could be neither. It could. What do you guys think?
Naperville is targeted.
Ooh, and Jerry said universal first, follow up with targeted after that. What do you guys think about that idea? Where's the mic? Here, wait. Chris has got something very smart to say.
I'd go with the targeted because I want to focus more on specific clients, like
Yeah.
the hot prospects and
Talk to
my
them
VIPs.
specifically, more one-on-one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But I like where Jerry's coming from, having a universal one. And Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm watching your chat, but maybe have something that everybody can get right away. And from how they react and respond, then you can send a more targeted ad or follow-up campaign. Is that what you were thinking? Yep, he said that's what he's going for. So those are definitely great topics, all things we can cover. So thank you for your input. Anything else before we move on with our day? Oh, Chris got another one.
The
Great.
nurturing from beginning to end.
Oh yeah, so we got another one
much
for this.
Leads that come in.
Yes, nurture beginning to end. What does
that-
beginning to end mean for you guys? What's the beginning?
Introduction.
Introduction? Somebody's gonna say something. Just lead gen in general?
Yeah, but from the time you put the lead into command to the time they close on a property, that's what I'm guessing, beginning to end.
Well, but when do you put a lead into command? Immediate. What's immediately?
The minute you see them.
But we have contact info and a name.
Contact info and a name. You put them in command. Yeah? Email, phone, first and last.
It'd be nice to have their address.
It would be nice to have their address. Francisco says if you don't have their address, use forewarn. You can look it up in Remind too, right? Yep. Lots of resources. These are all great ideas, and we could definitely do a whole command day right around that. Thanks for that input, Jerry. We appreciate your thoughts on that. Trying to see if
Amy,
anything else.
I think with that, it's good to have a combination of both universal touches and also targeted touches, right? Some things can be universal, but I think the targeted makes it feel more one-to-one instead of one-to-many, right? Instead of blasting everything to everyone in your database, everything doesn't apply to your entire database. And I think that's a quick way to start getting people to unsubscribe from the stuff you're sending.
Exactly.
So if you can focus on the targeted, that makes it feel more one-on-one. I think that's the overall goal. And then you sprinkle in some universal ones that just apply to everyone.
Yeah. Oh, Monica has something to say. Here, wait. Yeah, it's still on. There we go.
So maybe like automating an 8x8 and then automatically throwing someone into like a 36 touch when that ends. So it goes from a targeted to a general until they close.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to combine the different types of follow-up plans. I know I talked to a few people last week about following up for Facebook ads. I don't need this one. I have one. And we talked about doing a general follow-up, just like Jerry suggested, that everybody got, and depending on how they responded, then doing a targeted response based on that. So if it's a buyer, maybe there's a buyer follow-up plan, right? Another idea we had was to make a general plan that was easily customizable for each ad. So maybe if you're running property ads, you do the same layout, but you put the information in the follow-up saying, thank you so much for checking out 123 Main Street. And then on your next listing, thank you so much for checking out 81020 Park, whatever it is, right? And so the general questions are the same, yet the information going out to those people is customized for what they clicked on, because if they're clicking on things on the internet, how many things are they clicking on, right? Do they remember what they clicked on? So when you're doing that follow-up, they're like, I clicked on 20 properties that night. Who are you, right? So if you build that address in there, it helps them identify that. So there's lots of different ways to go about doing it. Anything else before I take a picture of the board here? So we have it for later. I guess I need my phone to do that. No? Anybody? Glenella, Naperville, Aurora, Zoom. Last call. Take a picture. Maybe if I know how to work my phone. Also, did everybody get the link to the survey? Was everybody able to get that?
Yeah, Amy?
Yes.
Aurora office, I have people yelling tags.
Ooh, tags. I gotta take another picture, you guys. I lost my marker. Tags. Tags goes right into that conversation that we were just having, so that's a great one. And today, we'll be talking about opportunity tags. Maybe I put that on both lists. Different type of tag, but it'll be a good thing to learn about. Did we miss anything? Zoom? Other market centers? Okay, I'm gonna do another picture, and then we're gonna take that QR code down. So if you didn't scan it yet, make sure you do so you can take that survey. And you guys will all be entered to win. Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a really fancy speaker, because I know that Nate's the one that sponsored that. that we saw earlier. And for all of you that had guests come in and sponsor, can you guys all just put their info in the chat so everybody on the other market centers and on Zoom can have that as well, please? We'd really appreciate that. And you guys, I've got some good news. We've been super efficient today. So our guest speaker is not going to be here till 1. So I think if we have permission from everybody, we're just going to shuffle the topics around a little. And I'm happy to dig into checklists right now while we wait for Joe to come in to do opportunity tags. Is that okay with everybody? Yeah? Thumbs up from everybody else?
Let's do it.
Okay, I am going to, hang on, let me get my screen all set up. Oh, I forgot, I'm hosting from another computer too. 1 second, gotta stop my screen share over here. I was like, why am I seeing double? There we go. You guys all see Downers Grove now and you hear me okay still? Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Then I do need my other screen. I have some lovely notes. Today, my topic is to talk about some checklists with you guys. By show of hands or Zoom chats, you guys can do digital hands, type in the chat, and then at the market centers, let us know too. Have you guys, especially teams or people, maybe an individual agent that has an admin, do you guys ever feel like you're spending a ton of time trying to catch up with what's already happened? Like, hey, did you do this? Did you order the photo shoot? Has anybody ever experienced that? I see lots of nods and downers. We're having those conversations with ourselves. Oh my gosh, did I do this thing? I woke up at 3 in the morning and I'm like, oh, I forgot, right? I got to call that photographer. I need pictures tomorrow. I was supposed to call them 3 days ago, right? Has anybody, I see some thumbs ups. Other market centers, are you guys feeling that? This is the participation.
Naperville is.
Okay. What about when you're working a transaction, whether you're a solo agent or a team, and you feel, the goal, of course, is to provide all of your clients with really high-end experience, right? Make sure that you're consistent so that if one talks to another, they're like, oh, Monica did this amazing thing for me, and the other person doesn't say, well, I didn't get that treatment. That's like the worst, right? You don't ever want that to happen, I'm guessing, right? Have you guys ever had little things that you're trying to do for every single person fall through the crack and you realize a week later, I never did that one little step? Okay, so today we're going to focus on checklists, which is going to help build out that system. So if more than one person is working on it or you're prepping to build a team, you can have everything written out and labeled right inside Command. And it will, as you build your checklist, it'll apply to every person, every opportunity you put in there. And you do have the option to actually add special items for special cases that only apply to one client. The other use for that, of course, if you're not working with multiple people, is that you have everything written out, right? So you don't ever have to think, what am I supposed to do next? It's just there, ready for me to go. Does that sound like something that would help you guys in your business? I'm getting yeses and downers. Oh yeah, on Zoom. Okay, good. Some hands up, thumbs up. I like it. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is pull up Command. I'm going to give you guys screen share here. And does everybody see my Command screen? Everybody on Zoom? I don't hear any no's, so I'm going to assume that's
yes.
Okay. So the very first thing I want to show you is what this checklist pipeline actually looks like. I keep saying pipeline because it's in your opportunity pipeline. So that I've just logged into Command. I'm on my main screen here, and we want to go into the handshake icon. That's opportunities. And I already have some sample checklists built out. So I want you to see what that looks like. And we'll just go into our listing pipeline. You can have a different checklist for each of your pipelines. So I'm going to start in the cultivate section. And you see I have Mickey Mouse as a client here. I know he's my best friend. They're celebrating, him and Minnie are celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. So let's see, if I scroll down, you'll be able to see that a little better. Here's my opportunity here. It just says Mickey Mouse listing. And in the bottom right, it says 0 out of 6. Does everybody see that little rectangle? Perfect. If I click on that, it shows all of my items that I know I want to do when I'm in the nurture cultivate section of an opportunity. So for example, I have create the contact and command and add tags. That came up already. Add tags. Put them on a quarterly smart plan. Oh, we were talking about that a little bit too. Put them on a neighborhood smart plan. Send a text, right? So you can see, you can get as detailed as you want with these. And this is just one checklist for the nurture phase. Now let's say Mickey is going from nurture to hot. As I move the contact card over, my checklist changed. You guys all see how that went from 6 to 9 items? Yep. So I can see that I have a new set of checklist items in here. Another thing I want to point out is that we have, as I hover over the right-hand side, you can see an option to set a due date. So if I click that, I can actually say when this task it should be due, and then it will populate in my tasks for that day. So if I'm checking my tasks on a regular basis in command, all the items will pull up here. Yeah, Jen, what's your question?
So do you actually create the task in someone's opportunity?
Yeah, so for those of you watching, we had a good question here. Do you actually create the task in somebody's opportunity? So I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. I'm in Mickey Mouse's opportunity here. I'm in his checklist, and right here I will hit set due date. So that will tell me that on, October 21st, Mickey Mouse I need to add a hot prospect tag for Mickey Mouse. Now,
Maybe we've had questions here in Aurora.
okay, 1 second, Aurora. What was the rest of your question, Jen? So I haven't created them yet. I wanted to show you what they look like, and then we'll go ahead and show you how to create them. Does that sound good? All right, perfect. And Aurora, what's your question?
Well, one question you may get to in a second, are there pre-created checklists that we can download, but you can get to that in a second. My other question is, what if somebody starts hot and they don't start at cultivate, and so you've got a checklist of create the command tag, and you think that that's done in cultivate, but they start hot or they start, at the appointment phase.
Yeah, that's a great question. I have had a couple of people say the same thing. And we've done a couple of things. One is somebody will always start them in cultivate, do the things and move them to hot right away. 2 is there are a lot of people that will start right at hot, and you don't have to call them cultivate and hot. You can name them whatever you want. Maybe cultivate is I'm looking for 6 months to a year to move, and hot is 0 to 3. Maybe you want to do like a warm of 3 to 6 months, right? You can create these stages, whatever you want called. But let's say sometimes you meet people and they're like, my lease is up in 2 months. I got to go. It's a hot lead, right? You're not thinking I got to put them in cultivate and put them on a year follow-up campaign, but they need the same tags added, add the card, create the opportunity, right? So you could put checklist items on multiple checklists if you want to do that, and you don't want to have to move them from one section to the next section. Does that help answer that question from Aurora?
I have one question.
Yeah.
Hey, Amy. So for this to even start, you have to create an opportunity for every contact.
For anybody that you want to be following up with or using checklists on, they will need to be an opportunity. Yes. Great question. Anything else? Are you guys seeing value in the checklist? You just need to learn how to make them. Yeah, I'm just getting some nods here. Oops, something came in the chat.
I do have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
So if we as an individual agent can see these checklists, if we who are on our team, can everyone see what's going on with the checklist? Will we be able to tell who's checking off of the list?
Good question. Okay, so we got a team specific question is, as an individual agent, of course, you can see everything that's going on in there because it's your own account. How does it work for teams? Can you see everybody's check marks? Can you see who did what? Currently, you won't be able to see who checked something off. However, if you are working on an opportunity and somebody on your team also has access to that opportunity, both of you will be able to see the check marks. So if there's two people on a team and they don't share access to an opportunity, they will not be able to both see the checklist. You have to give the permission for that to be allowed. So you, yes, correct. That is access as a collaborator on the opportunity. Yeah. All right, great question. Any other questions about the principle behind the thing before I show you the how-tos? See, nothing. Oh, got another chat item. Would transaction coordinators be collaborators as well? Yes, they would. You definitely want to make your coordinators collaborators. And as a quick little PSA, remember we have command on demand 9 hours a week. So if anybody needs to dig into this some more, it's at 11 and 3. The links are on e2psuccess.com. Depending on what market centers you're into, you have different people that you can reach out to do one-on-one appointments if needed as well. Got some more questions in the office, in the training room. Good question. Can you default collaborators? I don't think you can yet. That is something we can look into. I do like that idea because it would save people lots of time. And Bridget? Say that again. So questions about tags. Oh, yes. So, okay, the question was, can you assign a task to somebody? So I'm in an individual account right now, but what would happen is if I was in a team account, when I hover over the set due date, I can also go ahead and assign it to a person. So then it would show up in that other person's to-do list. Yeah, their task list. Good question. Oh, and then somebody put not, well, if they, okay, the question was if you're a single, sorry, I'm just repeating it for them. If you're a single agent, can you assign it to a TC? And that depends, are they using your login or do they have their own account?
They're using mine, but I think they might have to.
So if anybody that would need to receive a task to them specifically would have to have their own account and their own login. If you are sharing an account, there's only one person to assign the task to because it's your account. Does that make sense? Now, that being said, you could add a little code in your checklist item with like TC in front of whatever your checklist is. So so they know, oh, TC means it's something I have to do. You could do something like that, but it would all populate in the same task section. But if they're already logging into your command account, they're already going to have access to that, right? Good question. In Naperville, oh, they said that the E2P site is where you can find command on demand. Yes, yes, you can. It's 9 hours a week, not 9 hours a day. It's but yeah, come hang out with us. I do it 3 hours a week. Noelle does it once or twice a week. We share responsibilities. Anywho, okay, so everybody kind of get the understanding of what checklists are for, how do you work with them? Okay, perfect. Then, oh, one more chat came in. What is E2P? Can somebody put in the chat to help Mary with that? Mary Margaret? I'm going to keep going with this. The one other thing I wanted to point out here is that there is a column that says client update. Did you guys notice that? What do you think that does? Oh my gosh, updates the client. So part of your job is to, whether you know it or not, is to let your clients know what's going on, right? Has anybody ever gotten the question like, what am I even paying you for? Yeah, nobody's gotten that question. Okay, well, you guys are lucky. So if you, what was that? Oh, you're just good because you're so on top of it. Maybe you don't need this feature. Yes, so the client update will do things it will send an email on your behalf automatically from the system to let your clients know that you've completed that checklist item. We're going to go into that a little bit later, but that's what that feature does, okay? So I want you to kind of keep that in your brain. Now, do you guys want to know how to actually make those checklist items? Perfect. Okay, so you do need to do this for each phase of your pipeline. So I'm going to go back to the main screen just so if anybody wants to follow along, you definitely can do that right now. I am in opportunities. And you just pick whichever section you want to build your checklist in. So let's say I want to start it, let's say we already did cultivate, now we're on to appointment. So I want to click listing appointment, and I want to build out my checklist for this whole section. And you can see currently we have set appointment, during appointment, and appointment follow-up. So there's 3 stages in my appointment phase. So that means I have the opportunity to make 3 checklists. If I don't want 3 stages or I want more than them, I can create and delete as desired. So to do that, you're going to go all the way to the top right and hit edit stages. And you can see, oh, I actually had a 4th stage. I didn't scroll over far enough, but here are my stages: set appointment, during, appointment follow-up, and then I have 4th stage as an example. So let's say we really don't want that 4th stage. I can come all the way to the right. I can hit the trash can and I can delete my stage. So this screen will create the checklist for every single opportunity. It will be applied to anybody that gets dropped into these sections. All you have to do to create or edit your checklist is hit the little pencil. This is the name of my checklist. So we're in stage of set appointment. Okay, so what do I need to do when I set my appointment? I don't want to change that one. I have 7 items in here already. And I have, when I'm setting my appointment, I want to send a Google invite. I want to pull some tax info. I want to check if they're in a flood zone, so I'm prepared when I go to the appointment. Monica, go ahead.
Sorry.
That's okay, we can go back. We'll go back. Okay, so one more time here, hit the handshake, go to the phase of the pipeline you want to go in, and then hit edit stages in the top right. And from here, if you want to change the name, you can hit the pencil. If you want to change the actual items in there, you just hit the checklist. So if you've not been in here at all, this will say 0 out of 0, right? I have some samples in there. So I'm going to hit 0 out of 7. These are the items that I've already put in here. And if I need to add an item, you'll see add item at the bottom. You simply click that, new item here, and then I can hit save. And now my new item has been added. Now you'll see I have my option for, on the left is what I will be checking off when I'm done with it. And on the right is that client update box, just like we saw on the previous screen inside the contact. If there's something that you know you always want to give your clients an updates about, why not save an extra click and pre-click your client update right here? So what will happen is when you're in your actual checklist, the client update box will already be checked. They will not be notified until you complete your check mark on the left-hand side. Any questions about that? No? Okay, you guys want to see what that client update looks like? I was like, no, all right, I'll skip over it. Make sure that you hit save at the bottom. My Zoom button's got in the way.
Amy, we've got a question.
Oh yeah, go for it. What's the question?
No, I just wanted to see that list again that you created for set appointment.
Hey, guess what? Somebody asked if we had sample lists. Guess who has sample lists to give you guys today? And you know what? In Downers Grove, I dropped the ball. I printed about 20 of them. They're downstairs. They're probably on the printer. Thank you, Amy. And I did email the checklists to the tech chairs of all the market centers. So if you guys need that for your reference, your tech chairs will have that. And when I'm done talking, I have links. I'll put that in Zoom as well. Sound good?
She has. This is what.
Okay. All right. So you guys will all get those checklists. And I think that we can probably handle emailing them out to the people that registered as well.
Amy, so are you going to show the client update email, what that looks like?
Yep. And I'm going to show you how to turn it on. So here I'm back in my appointment, I guess I am in the appointment phase. I'm in my opportunity, and you guys notice right next to our checklist, it says client updates are off, right? That's not going to help us if we actually want to send them out, correct? So what you'll need to do is just click on the name of your opportunity, and it will open up the opportunity details. And up at the top right, you'll see a client update button. Everybody see that? So all you have to do is tap client updates, and you have to click your little toggle that says send the updates, and it will send them daily at the time that you specify. So during your buyer consultation or listing presentation, you can give them the choice of time, or you can just tell them, I send out, you know, a recap email of everything that was completed for you at 9 a.m. every day, or I send it out at 6 p.m. every day. Go ahead. It does have to be daily. However, if you didn't check anything off, if you didn't check anything off that day, an email will not go out. They won't get a blank email. It'll just go out when something has been checked as completed. Questions about that part? I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. So you set the time it wants to go out. You want it to say from owner. Owner is the owner of the contact, so it means it's coming from me, not the owner of the property. It also can come from the assignee. Again, this isn't a team account, so it only shows owner. I see another question. Yeah. Correct. Good question. So Bridget asked about being able to attach documents. It will not attach documents. It's just going to send a list of the items that were completed. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. You'll see below who it's sending from. So if you're on a team, you'll be able to choose the owner of the contact or the assignee of the contact, and then who it's sending to. So you'll be able to choose the seller or buyer. And if there's a seller buyer, you can put them on there. You can actually add contacts if there's somebody else that needs to be aware of what's going on. Yes. It will send this email only if you check off an item. It will not send an email if nothing new to be updated has happened. So if you don't check off something, they won't get an email. Does that make sense? Okay. So yes, please ask. I'm here.
So not a question, but just something to be mindful of. When you guys are
Yes.
creating these lists, think about how the client's going to read them. So if you're using terminology that they're going to be like, what the heck does this mean? It's not adding value to them. So we've restructured a lot of ours with keeping in mind on how the client's going to read that, so they understand all the things that are being sent over and what that means.
Mm-hmm. And that is a great segue. Thank you, Noel. We have the sample of the checklist email that goes out. So all of this information at the top will pull from your marketing profile and the opportunity information. So if you have your opportunity named something funky, maybe clean that up. And then here is our checklist item here. So the message simply just says, Jack Smith, we're checking things off the list. Here's a summary of tasks completed for the address. So that will auto-populate in there. And then here are our checklist items. Now it will not say checklist item 1, 2, 3. As Noel said, you want to make sure that what you're naming those checklist items will make sense to your clients if it's going out as a client update.
We actually create one for the team to actually do the task, and then we word it for the.
Okay, so Mark does 2 sets of tasks in the checklist item, one for the team, so they get their details on what they need, and one that's client friendly. I like that. Stephanie, you got a question? So you have to, for each yes. Correct. So she asked if you have to turn it on for every person, and the answer is yes. Currently, it is defaulted to be off. You have to turn on the client updates for them to get these. I see some questions.
Amy, what I would say on that as well is you have to manually turn it on for each opportunity, because not every client may want that. Like, we have investors that we work with. They don't want to know all the little tiny details that you're doing behind the scenes. They're experienced in buying these properties. So those type of opportunities, we don't turn on the client updates. But somebody that's a first time home buyer or just doing a regular transaction, then we definitely want to keep them in the know. So that's the reason why they're just not always defaulted to on, because we want you to make the choice on who's going to be receiving these.
Yes, exactly. Oh, we got another couple thoughts in the room. Yes, I have. The question was, is there a buyer template? I have a listing specific and a buyer specific template that I'll put in the chat, and we can get out to everybody that's attending in person as well. So if you're in person, check with your tech chair at the office. And if you're a tech chair and you don't have the list anymore, email me, I'll send it to you. Any other questions? We do have our special guest here. Yes, go ahead.
I just have one more.
Mhm.
Some of these things are things that we would want to alert
A client about.
but all of them we should be wanting to check off the list.
Yes.
So how do we decipher which of those items the client will get alerted to? Like they're not going to get an alert for all of these things.
Correct. Good question. And I'm going to repeat it.
Tagged in command, right?
Correct. Yes. So the question was some of the things on the list I need to know, my team needs to know. Some of the things my team, and my client need to know. How do we make sure that the client only gets the client part, right? Okay. So when I'm in my checklist items, I'm just going to go back to edit. Here we go. The left-hand side is something that's like this task is done, correct? The right-hand side indicates the client update. So if it's something you know that every single client is going to want to know about, like I ordered the photographer, right? I had the conversation with the stager, they're going to be reaching out. You can pre-check that when you're building your checklist. Also, inside the actual checklist for that specific opportunity, you can click your checklist. And even if it's something you didn't pre-check, you can always check that client update button and you'll see this little envelope pop up and that indicates that email is going to go out to them. Go ahead, Chris. That was it. The one I just had pulled up was the sample of it. No, that's okay. I can pull it up again. No, it's okay. We're going to go into it again. Client updates. This is the preview. Oh, I got to turn it on. Sorry. It won't give you the, you guys, I'm used to using a Mac. I always scroll the wrong way on PCs. Don't make fun of me. I know. All right, so here's a sample. And like I said, all the stuff at the top will pull in from your marketing profile. The address will pull in from the opportunity. The checklist items will pull in from the checklist. And again, this will all pull in at the bottom from your marketing profile.
Each and every one.
We have Aurora questions here, Amy.
I was like, I hear some. Say the questions again.
Sorry, so for the set appointments where we were adding opportunities and we did a client update, say if we're asking for mortgage history, we're gonna hit client update for that. Do we have to set a due date for each and every one, or can we?
No, you don't. You only set due dates for things you want a due date for. However, if there's no set due date, it's not going to show up on your task list. You'll have to come into the opportunity to check the checklist. Does that make sense?
If we find everything with a due date, we'd have to manually put that in, or is there a way to automate that?
Oh, not yet. You will have to assign the due dates currently. Correct.
Where it sounded to me like it's possible to set up an email that goes out to confirm the appointment automatically. How do you create that email template?
So that's not part of command. That would be like if I checked off an item that said confirm appointment, it would just send this email that you just saw. That's all it does. The only thing that's automated here is if you check off in the checklist client update, the next day or whenever, if you set it for 6 at night, that night, a recap of all the things that were checked off with client update will go out. Anything above and beyond that is going to be a manual system.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, you guys, I want to get Joe in here. I am not saying this conversation is done. I actually have an awesome little workshop we can do together too. So I just want to respect Joe's time. He is our guest speaker today. So write down all your questions you have for me and we'll get back to them. I promise. I love all the participation. That said, Mr. Joe Green is in the house. He is actually from our Chicago office, Chicago 1, if you guys haven't heard of it. And he is here to talk to us about opportunity tags. Joe is also a Market Center tech trainer. So Noel and I have met him and worked with him with some regional stuff. But he's been with Keller Williams for a little over 12 years, I believe, and in real estate since 2002. So he knows the business well. He's passionate about sharing his thoughts and ideas on the technology and how to really use them at a high level to help grow your business. So with that said, I'm going to stop screen sharing. And Joe, you should have you should have the ability to screen share. And I'll bring you on. More. There he is. Hi, Joe.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us today. And please feel free to elaborate on your amazing wealth of knowledge if I missed anything.
Yeah, I was impressed at how well you knew me. I'm like, are you stalking me? What's going on here? I'm a real estate agent, have been for 20 years, and with Keller Williams for about 11 years now. So I'm still an agent, and I'm also the MCTT of the Keller Williams One Chicago, which is O'Hare, Lincoln Park, and Lakeview. So more the city of Chicago area, proper area. And we have about 400 agents in our market center that I help support. And I recently added a full-time person because I'm still in production. So I'm out there using Command on a day-to-day basis. And I do use it every single day. And so Christina is also part of the MCTT role, strictly as support staff, meaning Christine is not in production, which gives me a lot of leverage that I need. It's hard to do both and. What else can I say about me? So again, I use it every day. Probably do between 50 and 70 transactions a year, depending on the year. This has been a great year for me, and I only use Command. That's all I use. I only use Command. All right. So my particular topic is going to be on opportunity tags. So I'm going to share my screen because you don't want to see me any more than you have to. And so hopefully you can now see my dashboard, and this is my real dashboard.
We can. And Joe, there's a lot of new people to opportunity tags. So if you could share a little bit about why you use them and what they're for, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so let me show you how I got to where I am. So here's our homepage here, and I have a bunch of opportunities here in various stages. And you can see I've got things in various parts of Command, cultivate, appointment. I got 18 there, active 13, under contract 1. And what I love, opportunities is my favorite part of Command. That's where the money is. This is where the sales pipeline is. And I'm in here every single day. I do have a transaction coordinator. So together we are in here, and it makes our conversations a lot easier in terms of where are we in the transaction. Okay, so this is the Command dashboard here. What I want to take you to is in settings. So upper right-hand corner, you're going to click on your name, and you can see I'm part of a team as well. So you have team opportunities. It's not going to make a difference whether you're a team or solo. You're still going to get to the same place here. Go to settings, Command settings, and opportunity settings. Okay, so settings, Command settings, and opportunity settings. So I'm actually looking this way because I've got 2 monitors, so I know just deal with it. I know I'm looking at you here, but I'm going to turn over here to see the bigger screen. So opportunity settings, and then here we have opportunity tags, which is different than contact tags. Amy, do I need to go? Do I need to talk about the difference between contact tags and opportunity tags, or did you cover that already?
We have not talked about the difference. I think that the opportunity tag is just a new concept to a lot of people. So we would love to hear the difference.
Okay, so so tags in contacts, I consider that to be, how do I want to categorize people in my database would be a contact tag. So if I wanted to find people that were first responders, that were police, ambulance, doctors, nurses, I might create a tag that is specific to first responders. And I might tag all those people that are that, so that if I wanted to message all those people, I would say, show me all the contacts that have a tag of first responders, teachers, people interested in sports, people that have a pet. You can go crazy on the tags. I go crazy with my tags. I would recommend that you do not. right? Have it as simple as possible. Only create a tag if it's something you're truly looking to keep track of. Okay, that would be the command side. The opportunity tags, you see them on my screen here, and they're there because as part of the transaction, there's something that I want either to know or my transaction manager to know about that opportunity so that we can be on top of things as we go through the process here. So for example, some of the tags I have are things for financing, right? Is it 100% financing? Are they doing a 3.5%, 0%, 20%? So I might have those tags in an opportunity so that, and I deal with a lot of condos in the city of Chicago, so it's more important that we know percent down payment because some condos have certain requirements where they must have 10% down or 20% down based off of something on the HOA that is triggering that we got to have a buyer that's 20% down for this HOA because of special assessments or, you know, delinquent homeowners in the building. So there could be something that we want to make sure we remember about this particular opportunity so that we can act accordingly as we go through the life cycle of the transaction. So instead of me asking my transaction manager, do you remember what the down payment was on this? Whenever I asked that question, we decided let's create a tag for that so that we know going forward why we had that question and why we needed to have a way to keep track of that. Okay, so some of it is finance related. Some of it is it an inbound referral, outbound referral? Some of it is going to be an individual person. So if it is a referral, I want to make sure top of mind in one place, I know who that referral came from or is going to. So that at a moment, I could call Christopher, for example, and say, here's where we are in the process. So I want to, without having to go more than a double, triple click to, you know, my notes section. So I'm going to have tags for the individual that might be a referral. All right. On the very bottom here, I'm showing 1 of 10. I have a total of 45 tags. Some of them are used. You could see how many are used in various opportunities here by this count. If it was an active opportunity, I would be able to click on that and it should open up to the opportunity that it's active on. If it's closed, it'll still show here, but I won't be able to click to it. So it's kind of deceiving that you have a hyperlink here. It may not go anywhere if that property has already closed. Pro tip, if you do have, similar to contacts, if you have more than 10 on the screen, you can click on the very bottom where it says view 1 of 10, and you can say, show me 25, 50, 100. So if I wanted to see all of them without having to click on the arrow, I just click on show me all 100 of them, really 45. And you could sort it by tag name or when it was created. And you can see Allie is my transaction manager. So some of them she created as a result of, hey, we need to keep track of this. And some of them I created just as a test as well. So you can see here dual agency. Why is that important for me to know it's dual agent? Obviously, I know that it's dual agency because I wrote the contract and all that good stuff, but I want to make sure everyone on my team also is aware that it's a dual agent because we are going to be much more sensitive to the communication that we have. We're going to push everything, just about everything, to the attorneys at that point. Whenever we're dealing with dual agency, and we don't do a lot of them. I don't want to do a lot of dual agency, but there are some cases. And so my transaction manager knows that any communication needs to go from her to the attorney as opposed to the client, just so that we're not putting ourselves in any risk of saying something that might be perceived as benefiting one side versus the other. Does it make sense why we might have something like that? And feel free to interrupt and ask questions as we go through this. So I love tags, and I probably have much more than what is needed. FHA, no payoff referral fee, no payoff, no referral fee. There is one. So for example, if it was referred from a friend of mine, I still want to keep track of who that friend is. And my transaction coordinator knows that there is no fee on that referral. So it's just being referred by someone from your sphere, your friend, your work, not someone that is a realtor that would be earning a referral fee from that. Past client, that's just to remember that, hey, they've gone through this before. Repairs would be, for example, on the inspection, that there was during inspection negotiations that they were going to repair some items. And so when I go through the final walkthrough, there's going to be a tag there that says, hey, there's repairs on this. And so it's going to remind me to bring with or take a look at what those repair items were, so that when I get to the final walkthrough, I can say, all right, here's the things that they said that they were going to take care of. Let's check them off. So that would be an example of repairs. Some of these, I don't even remember why they were there. Lease renewals, let me see what else. Check to closing. This is, I need to bring a check, or a check needs to be brought to the closing table, right? That's important to know early on, so that, if the closing date changes, you want to make sure your MCA department is cutting the check, sending the check. I think we can do electronic payments to a title company, but we want to make sure we're not on day of closing wondering if the check got there. So we have a check at closing, which we're going to know because we know what the total earnest money is, right? We know what the commission is. So we're going to know early on whether a check needs to be taken over to the title company or not. I'm in the city of Chicago. So in the city, most city contracts have two parts for earnest money, right? You have the initial earnest money, and then you have the balance of earnest money. I think in the suburbs, there's only typically a one-time earnest money, and I'm adopting that practice even in the city. So this would be saying that there is no balance of earnest money due, so that we can keep track of that after attorney review. We don't have to worry about, did we get the balance of earnest money? It's like, there is no balance of earnest money. It's like, great, move on. What's next? Home warranty. I'm going to show you how I use home warranty as a trigger, right? So as we negotiated a home warranty, whether it's on the buy or sell side, typically on the buy side is where I'm going to have this, but I'm going to have it on the sell side as well for two reasons. One, we've had an issue where home warranty was negotiated. You get to the closing table, everyone forgets about the home warranty, and then 3 months later, you turn the furnace on because it's getting cold and the furnace doesn't work. It's like, who ordered the home warranty? Right, so we added a home warranty so that we are on top of things at the closing table to say, here's the repairs, they're all done. Here's a home warranty. We want the receipt, the company, contract number for that. And what I did was added a smart plan for a home warranty. After the close, I'm going to add a home warranty to the contact, which is going to trigger 4 additional emails to go out after the closing. And I'll show you the trigger smart plan in a minute. But basically, after the closing, it's going to send them an email to say, don't forget to call the home warranty company to make sure the home warranty is in place. Right? How many times have that happened to you where there was supposed to be a home warranty and no one ever followed up, and then an issue happens and there's no home warranty in place? Then what happens? Right? Now you're like, well, you should have had a home warranty, and I'm looking to make it as seamless as possible to make sure we're not missing any gaps. And even though it's not necessarily our fault that they forgot to purchase a home warranty, who are they going to look at when that home warranty hasn't been ordered? Or any of these items, the balance of earnest money, the check to the closing. Hey Joe, there's no check to closing. What's going on? Right? Whose fault is that? At the end of the day, it's going to fall on us as a real estate agent. So home warranty, I'm going to show you that in a minute. Closing cost credit, right? So we have that in case, whenever there's a closing cost credit, there's going to need to be an addendum unless it's in the original contract. And so the transaction coordinator knows closing cost credit as a result of maybe inspection items, and it's a trigger for her to follow up with the attorneys to say, hey, can we get a closing cost credit addendum, a VA addendum, an FHA addendum? So it's kind of a trigger for us of additional steps of the transaction that needs to take place as a result of various things in the contract or the process. As is, right? If you have as is, you know there's not going to be the final walkthrough. It's as is. Let's make sure, you know, the house is still standing. PLN, first time buyer, again, if it's a particular name, it's usually a referral opportunity with that particular person, right? First time seller, first time buyer, that might be more, you're going to hold their hand throughout the process a little bit more versus a past client's like, hey, we've done this already. So any questions on some of these opportunities before I get into the home warranty one? What tags are you using that you don't see here on my screen? You put that in the chat, you could maybe unmute yourself. What else?
I know we have a few people that put their lead source as an opportunity tag as well as a lead source in the contact. Have you ever done anything like that?
Give me an example of like the lead source. So is it like CMSA is my softball organization?
Yeah, you have FISBA. Okay, yeah, your softball organization. So why, can you talk a little bit about why you would have your lead source tagged as an opportunity tag? And I'm guessing you also have the contact with that as well.
Yeah, I have it in both places. For me, the CMSA one is, that's an organization that I am a board member of. I sponsor, and so I actually donate some of my commissions to, it's a not-for-profit as well. So I donate, so I know that I'm going to donate to CMSA as an organization as a result of that closing. So that's how I might use it.
That some of our folks that have been using it for lead source tags in the opportunity are thinking long-term, where they want to be able to see, okay, I pull up all my contacts that have the lead source of Facebook ad. I have 100 that came in this year. Well, now I want to pull up all my opportunities that closed with the tag Facebook ad. What have I learned? Do I have room for growth? Do I not want to use that anymore as a lead source?
Yeah.
That's one of the things we do.
Yep, and that's a great point. I currently don't have it doing that, but that's a great point. For example, if you're farming, you're going to tag, 1,000 people in your contacts as your farm, and you might want to create a opportunity tag that says these people closed and they're part of the farm. So 1,000 people, and I got 10 closings in a given year. That's a 1% rate of return. Is it worth me spending, $1,000 a year towards my farm if I'm making 10 times, $70,000 a year on that? Probably a good rate of return. So yes, that I appreciate you bringing that up. I think that's a great opportunity to.
Yeah, and I think the MREA says we should have 3 to 5 solid lead sources. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do a lot with a veterans group, and so you could see here I have 129 that have closed as a result of that veterans group. So I do use it. I just didn't bring it up that way. 80 of them were repeat clients. Right? What is as we do business planning for the year, you need to know where your leads came from, and knowing that 80%, or not 80%, 80 people came from my sphere and 130 came from my veterans group, it means I need to pouring into my clients is working. Me pouring into the veteran group is working, right? And if you're paying for some of these groups, for example, I was in Dave Ramsey ELP. Let's see if I've got that in here. ELP. You can see I have 9 closings as a result of the Dave Ramsey ELP program. However, it was extremely expensive, so I decided to opt out of that. Right. So if I had 100 leads, and I don't have the number off the top of my head. If I had 1,000 leads and only 9 closed, that's not a great rate of return if I'm paying 30% referral fee plus a, coaching and other things like that. So this is an opportunity as a result of that. I'm like, this isn't working. This marketing isn't working from this group. I'm out. Okay. I want to show you the smart plan. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so we use the opportunity tags at a very high level as well. And I think we started Family Reunion last year or maybe Mega Camp before. And it's been a game changer in our business. And we also utilize the lead source. It's a good way for you to see like how many referrals did you, out of all the closings you had last year, how many referrals were there, right? Or how many deals were FHA versus conventional, right? There's all sorts of things that you can then filter all of these different tags to get a better idea of like the makeup of your business, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And you can, let me get rid of this. You can type in FHA, for example, to find the tag, because you can't sort by linked opportunities, but you can, if you know the name, you can type it in. And I'm trying to think which one I might have something active in there. Go ahead.
Go into all opportunities in the pipeline. That's where you have additional filters where you can say last year you want to see, or maybe year to date, any FHA deals or maybe referrals that you have, right?
Okay,
So click on,
I'm in opportunities, go to all opportunities.
There you go. And then you have your
Filter on tags. Right, so I'm going to type in that veteran. Apply. And again, most of these are going to be closed, so it's not going to show them all here. So I've got 2 current ones that are under contract. Once they're closed, they're not going to show up unless you're aware of something else.
They'll show up under all opportunities.
So how do you make a tag?
A tag?
Let's try all opportunities. Oh, there they are. Look at that. I had my default as under contract. That's why I was only showing the under contract. So these are all the people that have, well, that's just all opportunities. Let's try filter again. Filter, tags. Let's try veterans. Apply. So there's 85 of them. Okay, most of them are going to be buyers or some listings. And they're in various stages. There's cultivate, appointment, active, closed. I just learned something. Okay, so if it's okay, I want to show you the home warranty and how it triggers a smart plan. So first, let me show you the smart plan. And click on smart plan here. And I'm going to type in home warranty. Okay, so my home warranty 40-day plan. So it's 4 total touches. I'm going to click on the pencil icon. And these are just text. I have not done the, they're emails, not text. They're text-based emails, not HTML emails. So you can see exactly what's there. But basically, there's add trigger event. So I think I might have another one in here, but here's congratulations on the purchase. Remind you to activate your home warranty. Okay, it's gonna wait 3 days. Send the next one. A lot of home warranty programs talk about rekeying as part of the home warranty program. So it's like, hey, did you know that you can potentially save money if you call the home warranty company about rekeying your, right? So this is, a couple emails that would send out as a result of a trigger. Let me go back to Smart Plan because I think I've got another one here. Home anniversary, home warranty. So let me try this one. This is the one that I believe has a trigger. Yes, contact tag triggers. So home warranty. So remember in the opportunity, we have a tag that says home warranty. So after the close process, if I add home warranty to that contact, so I transfer that tag into the contact, then it'll immediately trigger this smart plan to take place to remind them over the next month and a half about the home warranty. So that's the only one that I have as a trigger right now. It seems to be working very well. And so I'm looking for more opportunities to create a triggered event, like a home warranty, for the after the close process. Okay, so if I were to go into my contacts, and go to contacts here, and I'm gonna see if I can put in my name there. And if I wanted to add a tag, just type home warranty, save, and that in itself should trigger an email. Right there, smart plan subscribe to my home warranty smart plan. You see that? And it's going to send a series of emails reminding them about the benefits, the pros, the cons of a home warranty. So reminding them that way, you know, the home warranty isn't there in 6 months. You've done your job. You told them it's there. You told them to follow up. So that is something that we learned the hard way, where someone was supposed to have a home warranty and that wasn't there when they called in on it. So as a result of that, as a result of pain, we created this event, right? Sometimes we learn the hard way. We fail forward. Any questions about triggering of smart plans? Because that's a whole separate topic.
We do have a question in downers.
Ask away.
To clarify, do you have a checklist on your, I'm sorry, an item on your checklist that you, after closing, go in and tag the home warranty?
Yeah, so.
Or how do you trigger it, unless I missed something?
Yeah, so after, so we're here under contract and we have a bunch of items here. You can see I've got 12 particular items here. And then if we were to go to the close, I don't have anything closed in here, but one of the tasks might be, if there's a home warranty tag and opportunity, add the tag, because we're going to be doing things like updating addresses, putting notes about the closing. So some of the notes that we put in are, you know, the date, the price, or not the price, the date, the price, commissions we earned on it. We're going to add them to the home anniversary smart plan as a result of this as well. So the after the close is going to have some checklists on updating their address, adding them to smart plans, such as home anniversary. Was there a home warranty? Initiate that smart plan. Does that answer your question there?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Happy to help. So I know I went through a lot of information and I probably have more tags than most people have.
One more question.
Yes.
Hi, so I got a little bit confused. So there's two different types of tags, your contact tab and your opportunity tab.
Yes.
So if you have a contact, how do you differentiate from one to the other? So that's where I'm a little bit disconnected.
Okay, so there's different groupings. So here's my contact card here, and you can see I've got various tags for that contact. And with these tags are just for the individual. There's no opportunity potentially created for some of these people just yet. So Nick, for example, he's a client, he's a closed buyer, and he is now an active buyer. So if I click on that, I can see the tags that are tied to him as the individual.
That's when you created.
Right, active, client, and closed buyer. And so if I wanted to see who were my closed buyers, I can filter on tag closed buyers and apply, and it should show me a list of, here's 152 that are in my database tagged as closed buyers. So if I wanted to send everyone an email or start them on a smart plan that, you know, a closed buyer, for example, if interest rates drop, I might send all these people to say, hey, interest rates just dropped to 2.75. Have you considered refinancing? And I know they own the place because they were a closed buyer. right? The opportunity is you're in relationship at that moment in time, under contract, a listing, a landlord, a tenant relationship. And so those opportunity tags are different and unique for that particular opportunity. So this person, Nick, for the opportunity would be a past client, so that I know he's already done this. Now, he might be a first-time seller. So the tags on contacts is a way for you to sort and group people together so that you can take some action on that entire group. So if I were to select all these people here, I could see select bulk action. I want to add them to an email list. I want to add them to a smart plan. So it would take action on all those people all at once. So that's what a contact tag will allow you to do. Sort, filter, take action on an entire group of like-kind individuals. Good question. Any other questions you have? Is anyone doing something so unique that I haven't talked about it and you're like dying to say, we do this? Because I'm always open to learning from you guys that are active in the market as well. It looks like we have people from all over the country here. So, you know, are you doing something different in California or Canada? So there was a question, are contact tags the same or different than opportunity tags? They are different. They are different. So if I have a tag of client for contact on the opportunity, they may not be tagged as client. Usually a tag on the opportunity is because I want it to trigger some event or have me remember some event. So the fact that they're a repeat client is a trigger. The fact that they're a client, I don't know that that would be a helpful tag in this scenario. So you're probably going to have many more tags on contacts than you do opportunities, and you're going to have very different tags in opportunities. For example, the down payment amount, whether it's FHA, VA, 3%, 5%, 10%, 20% down cash, that doesn't, why do you care on that on the contact side? I don't know that you would care on the contact, but you care on the opportunity. Does that help clear the difference between why you might have one tag on an opportunity and not on a contact? If I go back to settings and general settings, command settings, opportunity tags, do I care that a contact has a home sale contingency on their contact going forward? No, I only care about that as we're in the contract negotiations and stage. I might have a connection with who the referral source is. I would have tagged that person as a referral source. So that would be something that I would have. But a lot of these would only apply to the opportunity. Dual agency, for example, that would only apply to the opportunity. Referral fee, yes or no, only for the opportunity. You wouldn't need that in a contact. Can you use the same tag in both places? Yes, absolutely. So you can have past client as a contact as well as an opportunity. And again, the difference there would be on the opportunity. If it's a first-time buyer, you might need to hold their hand a little bit more than if they're a repeat client or an investor that had bought and sold many properties with you. You can probably leave them a little bit more unattended. Okay, another question. I may have missed this. It would be helpful to see you show the two different settings of these tags, how to create a contact tag, how to create an opportunity tag. Okay, great. So here, create a new tag right here. That's one way to do it. Within the contact, let's go to contacts first. And I'm going to click on the edit. you can, as you start typing in a tag, let's type in Fred. I know I don't have any Freds, so right at this moment, I can create a custom tag. And that custom tag is for contacts. If I go to an opportunity here, and I'm going to do the same thing, active, and I'm just going to click on this one, click on the pencil icon, and I apologize if I'm going too fast. I could slow it down. Let's see, tags. If I were to type in Fred here, it'll say, do you want to create a tag called Fred? So in both places, you can create that tag, and these two Fred tags, even though they're named the same, would be very different. One would be just for example, if Fred was a referral source, I might want that tagged as a contact as well as the opportunity, so that I could, throughout the transaction, say, hey, Fred, here's where we are with Sam Smith. They're through the attorney review. So it's just a reminder that there's someone else that I want to keep informed as to what's going on there. Mary Margaret, you good with that? She says, thank you.
Yes,
You're very welcome. Very welcome. So you can create tags here. You could also, under the settings, let me go to command settings as well. Command settings, opportunity settings, tags. I could add them right here. I could create a new tag right then and there. Okay, you could color coordinate them. I think, Amy, I think your spreadsheet in terms of the task has a fourth tab to it that has tags on it that are color coded. So you could color code it. You know, black might mean, you know, investors. Green might mean, you know, first time buyer, they're green, right? Red might be a referral from Keller Williams or something to do with Keller Williams. So you can color coordinate some of the tags as well, just so that it pops out a little bit more when you're creating or just viewing your contacts. So I'm going to pull my contacts real quick. And there's black, blue, green, yellow, orange, whatever color you want. Well, not whatever color. There is a limit to how many colors you can have. All right. A lot of clients in there, closed people, active buyers, referred. Those are in contacts, and in opportunities, it's more in terms of the transaction itself. The transaction itself. It may live in both places, but it might only live in the opportunity.
One more question in Aurora.
Yes.
Okay, so when you did the home warranty trigger, you created first a smart plan,
Yes.
and then from the smart plan, you created a tag for that smart plan.
Yes, yes, yes.
Can you show that to us one more time?
Yeah, so I'm in the Smart tab, Smart Plans applet, and I'm going to type in home because I know it's called home warranty, and I know it's not this first one, it's the second one here, and I can see that I've got two people that are actually currently on that Smart Plan. So if I were to click on edit over here, it'll show me that there's an email, and it's got a contact tag trigger. And when you add that home warranty as a trigger, whenever you add home warranty to a contact, it's going to automatically set them up on the smart plan. Okay, and the first step is send an email. It's going to wait 3 days, send another email. It's going to wait 7 days.
I'm sorry, where you put home warranty tag, if you were to re-tag it to Fred, you would add new.
If I wanted, so let's say hypothetical context tag AHS. Maybe I wanted to be specific that it's a home warranty with AHS, American Home Shields. versus HWA. I personally wouldn't want to go that granular, but if you wanted to send one message, if it was an AHS warranty versus HWA warranty, you could have a tag with that designation. So you'd have to set the tag to the person that says AHS. And so so then it would maybe send a series of emails, and maybe it gives them the phone number for AHS versus HWA. Now, I haven't tried it before if there are two tags. I've not tried that before. Does that answer your question?
It sure does. Thank you.
Awesome.
We
Awesome.
have
Good
a
question.
question in downers too.
Yes, downers. North or south? Downers,
One
north or
is
south?
just gonna hold the mic. We're in
so-
downtown.
So the trigger, the contact tag triggers would be if that tag is specifically tied to the contact, not an opportunity, correct?
So I would have it first in the opportunity to remind me or my transaction coordinator to add that tag to the contact after the closing. So the opportunity tags are triggers to remind me to do something.
Yeah, so you have it tagged home warranty in two places by the time it's done. You tag the opportunity using an opportunity tag home warranty. And then when it's done, your transaction coordinator does a contact tag called home warranty. And the contact tag is the one that triggers the smart plan.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And they know to do that because we put the tag right away. We know at the time of negotiations that there's a home warranty. The closing might be 45 days from now. We might forget at time of closing that there was a home warranty if you don't keep track of that. So that's why we put that in the opportunity. And then the after the close checklist will say, update the contact address, send them, a thank you note, send them a gift. If there's a home warranty, add a home warranty tag to their contact. So there's a whole checklist, just like you have the checklist for under contract, during inspection, out of appraisal. We have an after the close contact that will go pretty deep as to what we're keeping track of and where.
This is a, hello.
Yes.
This is a question from Infinity. Question is, if we have, once you identify some of the tags, like you identified the buyers or your investors, and you wanted to send out a bulk, a common email to all saying the rates have dropped down to 2.75, how do you send out an email by selecting all your tagged buyers?
Okay. So we would go back to contacts and we would filter by tag, and let's say it's warranty, home warranty. Okay, so this would identify everyone that had a home warranty. I'll click apply, and we could see that there were 7 people that have a tag of home warranty. And so I could then click on everyone here and do a bulk action and send them an email. I could add them to a smart plan. So the advantage of the trigger is once I add home warranty, it will magically send them, add them to the smart plan. Otherwise, I could add to smart plan all these people on the home warranty. However, it's very dependent on the time that we close. But I could, at this time, remove tags, add them to an email list. If you use MailChimp, I could add a note. I could, let's see what else. Create labels for whatever reason. So at this point here on the contacts is where you can select everyone and do a bulk action.
So is there a, I don't see that tab, but is there a tab which says create an email, and right from there, you could send an email out, right? Okay.
Amy, you good?
Yeah, you guys have been asking some great questions, and
Great
I
questions,
did
yeah.
tell Joe that he would be on for 30 to 45 minutes, so I do want to respect his time.
Yes. I know you have other speakers, so you want me, Amy, do you want to send them my information if they want to reach out to me directly on various things?
Yeah, that would, if you don't mind, I'd be happy to share that. So I really appreciate you spending the time to Zoom in with us today. And maybe one of these days you'll have to take a field trip out here, or we'll come out and see you.
Absolutely. I love doing these events. And again, opportunities is my favorite section. If you want, I can even put my home warranty smart plan into the library so that you guys can take a look at that. Would that be helpful?
That would be. We're getting oohs and ahs over here.
All right, let's see if I can remember how to do it. I'm going to go to smart plan. I'm going to do it live on the screen, but if you want to talk and introduce your next person.
Well, okay, so what I would like to do is, you guys, we talked a lot about the checklist stuff. One of the things I think that would be a good activity for us to go through is actually kind of walk through, like I said, we gave you the samples, but the samples that I sent you guys, or that were in the chat or we'll send out afterwards, those are what our launch coaches give to brand new agents. So that's a very kind of rudimentary level, basic level, just to get you started. So I'd love to help you kind of walk through that thought process on how to build out a checklist for yourself. Is that something you guys would want to do for 10, 15 minutes maybe? Yeah, I see nods in here. Okay, so this is going to be the participation part. So for those of you in market centers, make sure you are ready to be by a mic or share your information with people that are close to a mic. And that's also why I erased the whiteboard. So Joe, I am going to turn off screen sharing just so they can see the whiteboard in here. But thank you
Awesome.
again.
Thank you,
I'll
everyone.
follow up with you afterwards. Thanks,
Yeah.
Joe.
You're very welcome.
Okay, so as I mentioned, when we're doing these checklists, we have to pick a pipeline. So let's all vote real quick. You guys can put in the chat or just shout out in the rooms. Do we want listing, buyer, or renter? Let's just do listing or buyer. There'll be a little listing. Listing's the first one I heard.
Listing.
Listing. Okay, we're gonna do listing. We got lots of listings. Perfect. So then the next option we choose, cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, or closed. We talked about cultivate and appointment already. So let's talk active, under contract, or closed. What do you vote for? Active, under contract, closed. Under contract, I hear.
Here,
Active, I hear.
Under contract.
under contract.
Active.
Hey, we're split down the middle. Oh, we got another under contract. Okay, we're gonna go under contract. Active or under contract. So I think I heard an extra under contract. So we're gonna go with that. Let me do one thing real quick here. I want to pull up command, and if we're looking at under contract, currently in my sample here, we have inspections, appraisal, and financing. Now we can absolutely change these sections here. Yeah, these stages. So does this sound like a good, when you're under contract, you're going to focus on inspections, appraisals, and financing. Does that sound like a good 3 stages to have? Getting nods in my room.
Yes.
Getting yeses. Okay, all right. So let's pick one of those. Do you want to focus on the inspection phase, the appraisal phase, or the financing phase? Where do we want to build a checklist? Okay, we're going to start with inspections. That's the first thing I heard. Okay, so inspections. All right, so now we're going to whiteboard it. For right now, I want to hear from all of you guys, when you are in the inspection part of your transaction, what are things that you do? Reach out to the inspector. Refer, what Chris, yours was refer to inspector. I heard 3 referrals. What was that? Say more about that. Oh, this one. Send 3. Send 3 inspector referrals. What else do we do in the inspection phase?
Change the status in the MLS.
Change the status in the MLS.
One thing that we do, we have our inspection stage labeled as attorney review inspection period. It's AI.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these things happen like as soon as you get under contract. This is everything that happens with an AI.
That's a great point. I can show you how to change the, I mean, we talked about changing the stage name, but we can do that too. Ooh, confirm earnest money's been delivered.
Send out next steps.
Send out next steps. Ooh, I heard two at the same time. Milestones, that's this one, right? Milestones. Monica, did you say so? Somebody said something. Update paperwork and command. Calendar invite for the actual inspection, right? Schedule the inspection in showing time. Okay, so you guys see how we're just kind of doing a brain dump right now of all these things? Yeah, everybody get the idea of how to come up with this? Oh, my computer thinks I'm talking to it. Yeah. Oh, that's true. See, we pick listing side, but okay. No, you're not doing it wrong. I didn't even think about it. Okay. Okay, we're just gonna change. We're doing buyer AI. Good point. Okay, so we're doing buyer AI. So these are all different things we can do. Now we can put them in whatever order we want. So however you enter them into the checklist is the order they're gonna appear, right?
Can you change the order once you enter?
Yes, you absolutely can change the order. Yep, there's gonna be like 6 little dots. You can click and hold and drag them up and down into the order that you want. So let's say, what's the first thing on this list that we need to do? Change MLS status. Do we need to do anything to prepare for the MLS status change?
Are we on buyer?
Are we on buyers or sellers?
That's the problem. Yeah, that's because we switched back. Okay, so most of the stuff we said. There you go. So instead of change the MLS, check, right? Check the MLS. So check the MLS status. And then what Jen said, what? Okay, never mind. Jen didn't say anything. Well, so we're going to check that the MLS status is correct because we flipped over to buyers because most of this is buyer stuff. We got on a roll and we just went buyer brain, which is okay. So we're going to check the MLS status has been changed. What do we do after that?
Arrange the delivery of earnest money.
So we have the confirm that the earnest money has been delivered, but what do we have to do before that happens? We have to actually deliver it, right? So yes. Notify client. Oh yeah, that's better. Provide EM instructions, right? Okay, so before we confirm that it was delivered, we have to provide the instructions, right? We want to send out a next steps email that could go, anywhere in your list, I think. Update the paperwork and command. Where should that go? Monica says at the top. Right. So we can just start assigning these things with, let's see, the first thing you want to do is check the MLS. The second thing you wanted to do was provide the earnest money instructions. The third thing would be then confirm right away, or do we maybe send the 3 inspectors before we confirm? What do you guys think? So the next steps emails, which would be this guy here. Oh, perfect. So yours are kind of lumped together, right? Okay. So we're saying number 1 is check MLS status. My balloons are probably blocking that. Sorry, Zoom. Lots of bold balloons here. So number 1 was check the MLS status. Number 2, so your send out next steps and milestones includes the information about the earnest money, right? Which might also include 3 inspectors to refer to, right? So send next step email. Now, you guys could have that templated in a Gmail email. You could have that as a smart plan email ready to go, whatever is best for your business, but you want to make sure that that baby goes out, right? So if you want on your checklist for you just to have note that it's going to have 3 inspectors. It's going to have earnest money instructions, right? If you want to have all of those as checklist items, you could. If it's already in your template and you know that that's ready to go, you only need 1 line item for that checklist item.
If you have it as a template, is there a way to modify it and edit those fields so you can drop off first?
So Francisco asked if we have it in a template, is there a way to have it editable so that you can update info like the office that the earnest money has to go to? So yeah, any Gmail template, command template, they're all, it's just like working in a Word document. So you can just type right into them. So you can have like, just leave a blank or highlight a word like office address in red, right, for your template so that it triggers in your mind, oh, I gotta add this information to this spot. You can absolutely do that. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna check the MLS status. We're gonna send our next step email. Then what do we want to do? Maybe update our paperwork in command so we don't get yelled at. Do we need to do anything? Update command paperwork to prepare that paperwork before it goes into command. So maybe this isn't 3. Do we need to do anything before that happens? I hear whispering, but I don't know where it's coming from. Naperville, Aurora, Glen Ellen. There you go. So maybe number 3 is get everything signed, collected, because at this point it should be signed, right? Collect fully signed docs. Then number 4, update those fully signed docs to command. Do you see how this is working? We got to get all the ideas out on paper and an email, whatever, on a Google sheet, and then just kind of start ordering them and think to yourself, especially if you guys are working with somebody else that's helping you with this, is there enough information here to get everything done that I need done to make sure I'm providing that same value across the board to all of my clients? Does this exercise kind of help you guys see how that process works? Yeah. Anybody on Zoom or in the other market centers have questions about this? You're very quiet. I'm going to take that as, oh wait, something came in the chat. Oh, confirm your side has the complete signed paper. Oh, good. Yeah, Kelly, thank you. She said she got that one, number 3. Perfect. So I just wanted to kind of walk through that with you guys so that you could see how you could really build out your templates. Now, this is something like everybody's going to have some of these main steps, but if there's something that's custom to you and how you run your business, add it to the checklist. That's the whole reason they're there. And you could even do checklist items like, Chris, you said send out the next step email. Maybe it's not an email, maybe it's a smart plan. And the step could be sign up for or add to next step smart plan. Maybe it's a multiple step follow-up plan, right? So you can do things like that as well. The other things that I wanted to share with you guys is I'm going to put in the chat on Zoom for those of you Zooming, 2 links, and I'm going to share my screen here. Pull up Chrome. And in case anybody needs a little recap of what we've covered today, other than like, obviously we're recording the whole class, but if you're looking for just the specifics on checklists, there's this site, if you haven't heard of it, it's called answers.kw.com. And I can go in there and I can simply type the word checklist into the search. And the first option that comes up is customize your opportunity pipelines. So you can see there's a whole bunch of resources in here. You can go back. We can even see create and edit task checklists in opportunity pipelines. So this is specifically what we've been showing today. Screenshots. written instructions to go over everything. There's also one for client updates. So if you simply type in client updates, you can always find that here as well. And I did put those 2 links in the chat so you guys can refer to those later. Set up client updates is the other one that I put in there. And I would love to hear what you guys, have I missed any checklist questions or client update questions? Let's start with that. See if there's anything in the chat. Nothing on the chat. Anything from the other market centers? Any questions we've missed?
No.
Anybody guys? Anybody have questions?
Yeah, we're good over here in Naperville.
Okay, then I want to know what you guys either learned or what you're going to plan to implement about checklists going forward. What did you learn today? Did I help you with something? Come on, guys. Okay, so Chris learned how to create the checklist on command, right? Did you guys know that existed before today? A lot of people are shaking their heads. Anybody on Zoom know about this already? What's something you guys want to put into action moving forward? Doesn't have to be today, but what's something you think will really help you with your business?
Change opportunity sections.
Francisco said to change those stages, right? And the opportunities to really help understand where you are in the process. Yeah. Yeah. Make it simplified. Customize it to your business. That's the beauty of command. You guys make it work for you. It's not the other way around. You don't work for it. Yeah. Because you're on a team. So, okay, on a team, all the editing we talked about today is going to happen at the team level. Now, if you do something with a specific person, yes, you can add a checklist item to one specific opportunity, but your team checklists are going to apply to the entire team's opportunities. Same thing. So each stage and each checklist will be uniform for the whole team.
Amy?
Yes.
I don't know if I missed it. Are we able to change the stage names like cultivate?
Yeah, let me pull that back up because I think a couple people asked about that. So let me share that again. So the question was, can we change the stage names? And yes, absolutely. You can get rid of stages, you can add stages, you can rename them. What you cannot change are these 5 up here. Cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and closed will always stay the same. Everything below that we can update. So we go to our edit stages section, and I'm currently in under contract, and my under contract has inspections, appraisal, financing, and clear to close. So if I wanted to add one, I would just hit add stage. If I don't like that this is called inspections and I want to make it AI like Noelle's suggestion, I just hit the pencil on the far right, change it to AI, hit save. And now that's been updated as my stage name. So when I go back to my under contract, now it says AI here instead of inspections. Is that what you were looking for? All right. Well, you guys, it is a little after 2 o'clock, and we promised you to be able to learn how to write a contract in DocuSign in 8 minutes. So Noelle, if you are ready, I'm ready to spotlight you. Do we want to take a quick break, bathroom break? Okay.
Quick bathroom break. I know everyone's been sitting for a while.
Stretch, 5
and then we'll jump
minutes
into
around for a minute. 2:15 sound good, Noelle?
All right, guys, 5 minutes.
Thanks.
Okay, come back at 2:15 and we'll dig into DocuSign. Okay, I'll find some music for you guys.
Yeah, this is great. This is great. Sorry. I was telling him I felt like I've done it for about 4 years. You just jump right into it. Yeah. I wanted to tell you to me about that company. Charity Transition.
Oh, I'm familiar with them, yes.
And what they used
You're good.
We're all good? All right, everybody, I'm gonna get started. All righty, cool. So thanks again for joining us. there was a lot of excitement here in Naperville, getting ready for talking about writing an offer in under 8 minutes. I'm assuming most people struggle with writing an offer, taking way too long to write an offer than it should. Okay, so that's a consensus here, at least in Naperville. I'm going to share my screen and get right to it. I'm not going to go through the speed test now and try to show off on how quick it can take me. I want to start from the beginning. I want you guys to understand part of the process and little things that can help with just speeding up the process as well. So I'll dive into it into different segments as well. So I'm going to create a new opportunity. I'm just going to start from scratch just to kind of show you guys what I do. So in this example, I'm going to do a listing opportunity and I'm going to put myself as a test on here. And we use tags too, right? So I can tell if this was a referral, if this is an FHA. Well, this is on the listing side, but just as an example, right? And I have ours color coded, right? Based on different things. Everything in green here is financing, cash, conventional, FHA. Everything in this like bluish color is referral sort. Well, referral, we can put Facebook ads, sphere of influence, whatever that is, right? Whatever the source is. But then I have important things on here too, right? Like dual agencies red. If it's a detached or attached property, if it is a property occupied, right? That becomes important when you're scheduling inspections and final walkthroughs and stuff. So we have a bunch of different tags that we utilize here. And actually, if I go back just to kind of show you, you can see we start as they get pre-approved, right? We start putting who the lenders are, where they came from. And then once they're under contract, you see it gets very colorful on here as well. Right, so let me jump back out here. All right, so I'm going to create the opportunity. I'm going to say listing. I'm not going to put any tags as of now. We got to put commission rate. Now we'll say 300,000. Cool. All right. So now we have our opportunity here, right? Now, let me do this. I'm going to log into the MLS as well. Just, yes, we have a question.
I missed, under opportunity phase, where did you start at?
Sure. So the question was, when I created this, what stage did I choose? I just left it in cultivate, but depending on if I already met with the client, and that's a good point. If I already met with the client, then you're going to probably put them in appointment or active client. The goal is to not wait until you meet with the client already, right? You knew about the appointment. You knew that there was an opportunity for business ahead of time. So sometimes it's a year in advance, it's 6 months, whatever that is. That's when you should be creating the opportunities. And then they can stay in cultivate, and then you're triggered to put them on a smart plan or some type of follow-up system to keep in contact until they're ready to transact. It's a good question.
When you create an opportunity, you put all the client's information in there?
Yeah, so the question was, to create the opportunity, do we have to put the client's information there? So you do need a contact record in order to create the opportunity. So in this case, I used myself as an example, so I already had the contact record. Okay, so as long as the contact's in there, then you can create an opportunity under that contact. Cool. So let's see. I want to. All you really need is a name. So you don't even need all of their information. If you don't know all their information, sometimes I get leads on Facebook and I don't have their phone number, I don't have their email address, but I create the opportunity. Even if I have to go into Facebook and say, hey, I need to follow up with this person, I can go through Messenger and keep that conversation going instead of saying, well, I don't have any information from them. And then next thing you know, you're going to see that they bought a house with somebody else at that given time. So let's hope that I can remember my password here. Jeez. All right, come on.
Mine just
Oh, I
made
think I know it.
mine. Always with the MLS and the changing of the passwords.
I got it. Third time's a charm. Okay, cool. So we'll do an example. Let's say this one. So we have this listing here. So we'll use this as an example. And what we used to do is we used to write the offers right in the MLS because it pre-populates a ton of information. But then there was a pain point when we brought them into the DocuSign room. We had to assign every single signature box, and that was time consuming. So ever since I came out with templates, which I'm going to show you, we've transitioned and we do it all through DocuSign. So if this is the property that I want to write the offer on, what we first start out with is we'll copy the address. Now you don't have to copy the address, right? But what I want to try to do is put that in this property address here. Because when I get to DocuSign and I go to edit that section, you have to manually type out everything. And if you forget what the zip code is, you have to like toggle back and forth. It's easy to just start typing it in here, select the address, and it pre-fills all of this. All right, so I'm just going to save it here. So here's the opportunity. Now we're going to go into documents. Now, this is one step that'll help you save some time. Probably not the biggest time saver, but definitely a time saver. When you get here, before you hit start a transaction, you should choose the checklist. So I'm going to choose residential. And what it does, it populates my checklist. If I do this first, these documents that have this blue DS for DocuSign means that it's going to automatically pull in all these forms into the room. So I don't have to go to add and start individually looking for all of these different documents. Yeah, so so that's the first step. Now I'm going to go in and I'll show you what that looks like, right? So I'm going to start a transaction.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose DocuSign. All right, so let's.
I think he's just showing how the functionality works, and then he'll show you how to write the contract. He said he didn't want to go through quickly right away.
Yeah, I'm going through all of it.
Yeah.
What is this one? Let's see. Okay, so as you can see here, it automatically brought in these documents. I didn't have to go into add documents and manually look for all of these. Now, we had to choose one or the other, either bring in all the documents or let agents go in and manually select those. We chose to just bring them all in. So you're not going to use all the documents, which is okay. For example, this is a residential listing that I'm going to practice on. I don't need multi-unit addendum. If this bothers you, you can select the few documents that you don't want, and then you can just delete them from here or archive them, right? But now that I have the documents here, it's going to start pre-populating some information. What I like to personally do is I like to go into the detail section first to make sure that my info is here. So, you know, the section on the right, this is a very important section because this is tied to the pre-tagged roles. So if you want it to be able to automatically assign all the signature spots, we have to make sure that we have information in here, right? So this is a seller opportunity. So here's seller 1, there's no seller 2, and then myself as the listing agent, right? And then on the left-hand side, you can see it already brought in that property address, and I didn't have to go in here and manually do it. One little thing that doesn't populate is a state because it's a drop-down. Once you do that and you change the address for any other opportunity, it stays the same though. And this is very important, I think, for when you're writing in the market we're in and you're writing multiple offers, sometimes for clients. This allows me to move very, very fast. So the first one will take initial setup, and then after that, I can do it in 2 minutes. I can make a few changes and be done with it. You could, I don't fill out most of this other information down here, right? DocuSign can also be used as a CRM, a records management system, and that's kind of what this is for. But you could put, like, if you wanted to automatically put the contract, the offer amount, I can put that in here, right? I can even put the earnest money. I can put the offer date as of today, right? But I don't do a whole lot in here, and it's not the end of the world if you don't finish this. So now that I have the details done, there's a few. Do we have a question?
Yeah, question is, what is the seller one, seller two, then there's agent one, listing agent one, listing agent two. Is that for teams like a co-list, or is that for your managing broker?
Yeah, good question. I think, you know, in other states, they have different ways that they complete the documents. Really with us here, you know, we don't. There's typically a primary listing agent that signs the paperwork and everything just goes in under there. So yeah, depending on who you want to appear on that contract, then you can complete this information on here as well. If that makes sense. But you don't have to. Like for our team, I'm on a team. I just put whoever the primary agent's that's gonna be on the contract. We just put their information there, and then they can move forward and get everything prepared with that agent.
Can you tag it for your managing broker?
Do we tag it? What do you mean by tag it?
So that your managing broker can sign the contract. They're gonna need to have tags they're gonna need to be included on the DocuSign.
They won't need tags, but we'll get there. That'll be towards the end of the process. I think we have one more. Lisa.
Your contract offer. So when you go to hit the contract, does it pull all of that, like your initial, like you just
Yeah.
your 300,000, you don't have to go in and type in the 300,000?
Right, yeah, and I'm going to show you. So the question was, the information we're putting in here, does this feed over into the document section? And it does. Now, some things don't. I tried to fill out like everything on here, like expected close date, and some of these things don't port over, right? But I know the contract amount, offer date, and earnest money due, which I'm going to show you now. So as an example, right, this kind of is going to allow me to pre-fill a lot of this stuff. So if I go in here and I want to choose, let's see, the residential exclusive right to sell marketing agreement, right? So we'll let this pop up. Now it brought in some information automatically, right? It brought in the name of whoever the seller was in the detail section. It brought in my name as a designated agent since I was also on there, the property address. On this particular opportunity, you know, there's certain things that it doesn't bring in, right? It doesn't know what the marketing price is, you know, so we have to go in and fill out some of this stuff as well, which I'm going to show you a shortcut to kind of bypass this, because all of this stuff is pretty much blank for you to go in and still have to fill out. Except when you get towards the end, there'll be some information here based on, you know, the agent, right? So one way that can really help expedite this is by, if you go into my docs up here, there are form templates. So if you take one of these, if you create a form template, right, these are on 7.0 contracts, right? But I also have listing agreements at maybe 5%, 5.5%, 6%. Referral agreements, buyer rep agreement. I have these templates already made, and I'm going to show you like this is the biggest game changer that's going to help save some time. Whoops, let me go back into my rooms. So now I'm going back into this test opportunity. And when I'm in the document, so let's say this listing right here is from friend or family or someone that we're going to do a 5% commission, not 6 or 5.5 or whatever. Once you have your templates in place, you can right click on this and put apply form template. And then it's going to pop up with the list of those templates. So I can say this one's going to be our 5% one, right? So now it updates. And now when I go back inside of this, it's going to fill out a lot more information than we initially had. So let's see, right? It put in our managing broker's name. So now I don't have to manually type that. Seller's name's the same. Again, this pulled in, but we don't know, every property is going to be different for marketing price, appliances that are staying, like personal property, things like that. So we leave a lot of that blank. But as you can see down here for the commission, this automatically brought it in. So I don't have to go and type this in every single time, right? I automatically chose, let's see here. I automatically chose this option because we hold earnest money. So I never have to remember going in and updating that either, right? Leasing the property, right? We typically don't do leases, so we just put NA there. And then we have our managing broker's name on here as well. So again, I don't have to type that in.
And that's where you'll put in for him to click to sign.
Yeah, and I'll show you how to bring in the managing broker. I'll show you at least how we do it, which I feel is very efficient, right? So a lot of other things, at least on the listing side, we don't have to fill out, right? And actually I did a listing test saying that we were going to do it on this, but a little bit different. We can use it as an example though, right? I'm gonna kind of mix some of these up, but I think you guys will get the hang of it. So let's say, actually, I'm going to do this. Let's say Radon. I'm going to download this one. And then we're going to do the lead-based paint one as well. All right, cool. So now that I have those, I'm going to bring those into the room, right? I saved them on my computer, so I'm going to click on computer. And here's the two that I brought in. Right, so I'm going to refresh, and then it should show me these on here. Cool. So now I have the disclosures that I brought in, and so some of this is going to be mixed up, but I just want to show you so you get an idea of what it looks like. So I'm going to bring in my disclosures. Let's see here. Let's say private network addendum, contract, anti-fraud, whatever. So these are the documents that I want to bring in. So I hand selected them. And now,
what do you do with the ones that say sample? We get questions about that all the time.
Well, really the sample will disappear. Your office should have it updated where it now puts something on there where you can like it'll put the agent's name or something on there where it says it. The sample form is typically seen if you don't have anything filled out on these documents. They don't want you to be able to, and this is for the MLS, they don't want you to be able to download blank documents, right? They're all written, and it has to have something on there for you to be able to download it. Now, if you fill out something in the details section, that's going to automatically pull stuff over where now you don't see that, like this isn't blank, so it doesn't say it on there. But I can show you, even as I bring this one in, it should eliminate the sample form on there also. So I selected the documents that I want to bring into the envelope because now I'm ready for signatures, right? So now that I've selected them, I'm going to click on this pen up here. It says create envelope. We'll let this load. So it's going to bring in all of these documents into the envelope. Cool. So I brought in all these documents. You can move these around if you want them to be displayed in a specific order. I want to show you guys something on what comes next. So we'll leave it there. I like to update the room. If you start getting writing multiple offers or getting adjustments to the contract, they start blending together if they all say please DocuSign on here. So I like to put maybe like offer on 123 Main Street, or it might be initial offer or addendum, signed addendum, whatever it is for you to identify this envelope was specifically for this item. So here's my documents. Now this is a very important step that, again, if you don't do this right, you're going to find yourself manually having to add on all of these signature spots. You want to use pre-tagged roles. So when I use pre-tagged roles, I'm going to say seller 1, I'm bringing in, and this is going to be the last contact that I have here. And then I'm going to say, let's see here, listing agent 1, right? That'll be myself at my KW email address. And then this is where a lot of people get confused, right? They select managing broker and they want to know who should they put here. Sometimes they'll put the KW admin. If you do this, your documents are going to be sitting in somewhere and no one's going to see them. So you're going to be waiting for a long time for somebody to sign them. So don't choose a role here, right? And here's what we do. I checked managing broker, but I left this blank. So now I'm going to add these people on here. Now, what I like to do, this is my father. So he's the Mr. Spartan. So that's his email address. I like to put the clients first. I used to sign the documents first, so I wasn't holding them up. And then I found that sometimes an error was recognized on the document. So guess what? If you already signed it as the agent and your client says, oh, we don't have a dishwasher or garbage disposal, and you have to make that change, now the document's locked. So you can't go there and easily correct that. You have to create a whole new room and bring those in after the correction. But if I put the client first to sign and then I caught it, I can go in and edit that very easily and then just resend it out, and saves me a bunch of time. So I put the seller first, the agent second, and then I'll put the managing broker third, right? So this is going to be used for pre-tag roles. So it's going to automatically assign the managing broker's signature and initial spots everywhere in the contract. But what name do we need to put on there? Well, for our office, it's John P. Kelly, right? And then our compliance email is kw55compliance@gmail.com. So that part you still have to manually do, right? You can change the message here. I don't like to just say, please DocuSign. I like to put like offer documents on 123 Main Street, right? Just so they can see that as their subject line. And then you can always put something in here as well. Like I like to say, here's the offer documents, but give me a call. We can review them together. I can answer any questions you might have or make any changes at that time, right? Just so they don't think we're just trying to shove it to have them sign something that they may be uncomfortable signing without having a conversation about. So now that I have this set up here, I can click next. And we'll talk about kind of the structure of DocuSign a bit as well. So it brings these in, and you can see that in the upper left-hand corner, these are my recipients that I chose on there that have pre-tag roles. And these are their colors. So this first yellow is always going to be the client, or the first person that's on there. So if it's the agent, then the agent is going to be yellow, right? Now, this is very important because let's say this was the agent and this blue one was my client. And if I went and added a new box here, if I said, oh, this, like, let's say this was a commission part and I needed to put something on here. If I send this out like this, well, we'll use this example. If I send it out in blue, this first person that's like getting the documents, they're not going to see it because it's not in their color. So if this was like the commission rate or the expiration date of the contract, it's going to look like they're signing a blank contract. And sometimes I see agents do it all in the second or third color. And then they're like, my client got the documents and they're all blank, like, and they get frustrated. I'm like, okay, well, you're doing it a bit wrong, right? So it's fine if you want to add some stuff to the document here. You just have to make sure that it's in that person's color. So if you accidentally have it in the wrong color, right? This should be yellow. I can click on it. On the right-hand side, I can change the color that it belongs to.
Can you pre-fill?
Huh?
Can you pre-fill the text too?
You can. The question was if we can pre-fill some text. Yeah, so over here, I know there's things that you can pre-fill like name, company, line. So if this was the client's name, I can put name right here, and then that should pre-fill the name of whoever that person is, right? I don't like doing that. I don't like doing that part of it. Because what you can do is if I was looking for a name, I can just go under name here, and this automatically puts the name of this first person.
Well, I just meant for the text, then you don't have to worry about the color. You don't have to put like commission percentage.
Oh yeah. So yeah, if you wanted to just put in just some regular text without worrying about who that goes into, I can put the text here. If this was going to be 5% or whatever, right?
And then everybody could see that. Is that right, Noel?
Yes, everyone will be able to see it if you put it on this section here. If it's in a color on one of these standard fields, they're not going to see it. Now, once the first person signs it, everyone else going forward is going to see that in those fields.
So typically I've seen that happen if there are two sellers and you put them at 1-1. And the second person on the seller signs it, the first person is in blue.
Yep.
He cannot see it.
So yeah, we had a good point. So sometimes people put both sellers or buyers as recipient number one. So they both get this document at the same exact time. Well, guess what? If you send it to a husband and wife, and the wife is working, but the husband's looking at the email and he's second on the list, it's going to look blank to him. So I always like making it in an order on who's going to receive it first, second, third. And I tell them, you're going to get it after the next person, after the previous person signs, then you'll get everything else as well. Yeah.
If you click in the text, if the order says text,
Here,
if you go on the side.
To
you
my
can
here.
hit- You can uncheck required.
Correct. Yeah.
And then you can hit read only, and then everybody still sees it.
Yeah. So here's another good point. These fields here, right? This is the text field. Even if I put something in here, right? If I say that this is provided as of October 19th, you know, and then I say 2021. Even if I put this in here already, guess what? When I send this to the clients, it's going to make them click on this field in order to bypass that.
To do something to the.
Yeah. So I don't want them to have to click on that. So I can click on this and just say that this is read only. It's not a required field. And now it is not filled in anymore. So now they don't have to click on that. It's just going to automatically bypass it. Right.
Unless you put it on your name as an agent.
Which part?
The blue, if you're orange, Noel Morero is your dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it is Noel as the agent, then you can put it in your.
Yeah. So the question was if I can put this here in my color, and yes, I can, but when that first person sees it, they're not going to see a date on there.
Unless it's read only.
Unless you do read only for that color, or if you do what Emily suggested, because this automatically fills it, right? Or you can go in here and just say this text box, I just want to be a standard gray that's not specific to a specific recipient. Okay. Now all of these, you can see I didn't add any of these. These are the disclosures. And a lot of times people see the document and they're like, and they want to go here and manually add in all of these little radio boxes. And I see it all the time. I'm like, no wonder it's taking you an hour to write an offer, right? If you use pre-tagged roles, it automatically puts this in here for you. The caveat is it doesn't work on PDFs, right? So like, and I'm going to show you right next with like the disclosures that we downloaded from the listing. Those, I can't use pre-tagged roles on them because it doesn't know where to, it doesn't even know what document it is to assign them in those spots. So again, this pre-fills this here, right? Now there, let's see, I'm going to scroll through here. And now here's the disclosures, right? Now there's some little tricks with kind of speeding through this part of it as well. So what I like doing is, okay, I know I need an initial, and I'm going to say that they received the pamphlet for Protect Family in your house. And then I like using like keyboard shortcuts. You don't have to, I could right click on this and I can, let's see, maybe copy. You can copy and paste it like this, right? Now I have these two. Now, if I have a husband and a wife or two buyers or two sellers, I can select both of them, but I know that this one should be blue, right? They shouldn't be the same color. Now I can copy them. I like using Control D or Command D on your keyboard. And now I can easily duplicate this. So I know I need a set down here. I can hit Control D. It makes me another set and I can put it right down here. Right. And then the signatures, I can do the same thing here. Signature, I can put date sign. I can draw a box. Like if I click here and highlight both of these at the same time, I can duplicate them and then just change the color. So I'm able to speed through this very fast. Even if I brought in, if you're on the listing side and you have an offer that comes in and now you have to have your sellers initial all the boxes. But wherever I do this at, and I'll show you an example on the offer, I can speed through the contract very fast with it. So I have that, right? And I can easily take these and I can say, okay, I need most of these on the next page too. So let's hit copy. And then I can go down here and paste. Sure, it's not in the exact same spots, but I can kind of move these around a bit now, right?
Game changer.
Yeah. Right. And now I just don't have to do one at a time. Everything else really, just kind of, I can close these. Everything else fills out by itself, right? So if we look at the the listing agreement here, right? It automatically brought in myself here. Now, I don't have a seller 2 on here, so it doesn't have the second spot. But anywhere that they can sign, it brings a spot in. So you just have to be mindful, right? It'll allow you to select this, or you can allow your clients to select it as well. Now, where you have to be careful with this is on the 7.0 contract, because when you do this, it puts a spot on there for them to sign every potential spot they could sell. Cash offer, as is, waived inspection. So if you're not paying attention, you don't want to send it out like that. But I rather delete some options instead of having to add them all manually. So I like the pre-tag roles. It brings in everything. And then I can go in and I can bulk select a huge group of them at once and just hit delete on my keyboard, and they automatically delete some.
I got a quick question.
Yep, I got a question.
Check boxes, right?
Yeah, these radio boxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any way to make them like you have to do them? Because I see sometimes they return it without even checking them out.
Yeah, so on here, so the question was, can you make this a spot where that's required? Now, the radio buttons are going to be different than the check boxes. So the radio buttons will be required. They have to fill these out. Now, if they're doing a checkbox, so if you were doing an actual checkbox on there, these are all optional. So they don't have to select those. So they can easily bypass some of those. But the radio buttons, it shouldn't let them pass it without filling something out on there.
So you can't make the checkboxes required.
The checkboxes you cannot make required. On there, I could make something required here. If I wanted them to check this off, I can click here and just say required field. Now they have to, on here. Well, that's a good point. I can make it optional, or I can leave it on here. So some things will be optional, and then some things will be required. For example, when we go to the disclosures, these are automatically required. So it won't let them bypass this without checking that off, right? Now, in the other example with the listing agreement, some of these are not required, right? But if I want them to sign something on here, I can choose required field, and now it won't let them bypass that without filling that out. Okay, so good question. But as you can see, the combination of me using my template in here, it just pre-filled all this stuff for me. The pre-tag roles did everything for me as well. Some things I delete, like I always delete these 2 off of here, and then I'll require these because I let them know you choose your attorney, and your attorney chooses the title company, right? And title insurance and everything else, right? So again, they should fill some of this out. I can make all of those required, right? So yeah, anything that's outlined here is optional. So you don't want to leave everything, especially like in the lead-based paint disclosure or radon. They might go and check every single box, not knowing if they're not reading through it. So if you ask those questions ahead of time, oh, do you know about radon? I have no idea. I have no reports. Great. I go in there and delete the ones I don't want them to sign, and I make the other ones required based on what they told me. Right. But and then it brought in, so this will be the order, right? The seller will sign it, then I'll sign it as the agent, and then it'll automatically get sent to Jack, to our managing broker, to sign it last, and then a copy gets dispersed to everybody on it. Okay. Let's see. I know we've got maybe some questions on here.
So if they're optional though, doesn't it skip past it for the client?
Yeah, if it's optional, it'll skip. It won't. Yeah, it won't make them. Well, they can see it on there.
See it, but like it'll just when they're just going through signing.
Correct.
It'll pass it by.
Yep, it'll pass it by. Correct. So yeah, I don't like leaving anything optional. I like to ask those questions ahead of time, and then I will either require it or not require it on there. Oh yeah, so Christian had a good remark here. So for the check boxes, so yeah, if you check on these, I guess you can make them required, which we really don't. So over here I can well, this is how you check them. Oh, the validation, sorry, I believe it's here. Maybe, I don't know, I don't do this section of it. So Christian, any light you can shed on this?
Yes. So if, say for instance, you have 2 check boxes and they have to choose one or the other. So add a second, add a little checkbox and then click the plus button. And then
Correct.
go to validation, select it. So yeah, go to validation.
Oh.
You don't have to check mark them. Take the
Oh,
check
I'm
mark.
sorry. I'm on the wrong one. There you
Select
go.
exactly one. You have to say
Yep.
select exactly if they have to pick one. So if you say select at least, then they can check both. You don't want that. So
That
the
makes
first
sense.
box there, select at least, make it select exactly.
Yep. See, you learn something new every day, and I learned something new today as well.
So wait, did they say
Let's see.
exactly? Yeah.
There you go. So select exactly one. Yeah. So here's the thing. In order for this to work, though, you have to click this plus sign. If you're just adding different checkboxes like this, that's not going to work, right? All right.
Is that
Cool.
a than using the radio buttons?
I don't, well, I think for, it's good for, like that automatically gets put on there for the listing agreement for like the personal property. But it's in the document section, basically for the agent to fill out. So, I mean, I don't really do a whole lot with adding specific checkboxes on there. I mean, you could do it for the lead-based paint. I don't know anyone that's ever done a lead-based paint test. You know, I always tell clients, if it's built before 78, like they're most likely there's paint deep within the walls, the layers of paint. And then everything else I pretty much know. I use the radio buttons to choose one or the other, at least on my side. Yeah, so I have agents that come here and they want to put all these check boxes here. And like that's very difficult because then to line them up. And let's say you did do this, right? And it looked terrible. There's ways that you can clean this up if you're a bit OCD, like I can get sometimes, right? So if these are all like out of order, I can select these. And then on the left here, I can choose if I want to align them. So I can get them nice and straight here. Yeah, so again, if you select these and you choose one of these, align left, align right, it'll just align them all together based on how you want them aligned. So yeah. Let's see. What else? What questions do we have?
Question 2.
People don't see it on the left hand side. Oh, you didn't pick the washer dryer or something. Yeah. 7.0, they're all
Off a bit?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I have to check. But that gives me a good point. I want to show you something.
What was the question, Noel?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sanjay said that he wishes that it would be like that in the 7.0 contract because they're not always aligned up perfectly on there. Like on the left-hand side. So yeah, you can easily use that to align stuff if you want it to be. Now, I want to show you something really quick because like this would be a good example on like, let's say the listing side, right? I'm going to look for the 7.0. Now, this is very important too. The 7.0, I have a lot of templates. I have different versions of these templates based on the vendors that I typically work with, right? The lenders, the attorneys. So I have different versions of them. If I know they're using my lender, but their own attorney, I have a template for that. If I know if it's an FHA loan or a VA or conventional, I have the template there. I select the template. It takes a majority of the work on there. In this example, I'm not going to select a template here, but I do want to show you, let's say, let me refresh this to bring that in. All right, cool. So I'm going to bring this into another envelope. So let's pretend that this was a PDF, right? This is a PDF, and I'm not going to use pre-tagged roles. So I can use room participants, so right, because I know my people are in there. I'm going to select buyer seller 1 here, right? I just want to show you like the copy and paste function, how you can really use it on a higher level here as well. And actually, let me add into, like, we'll use an example if there was like two clients on here, like 2 sellers. So if you ever get to this screen and you don't have those pre-tagged roles and it's a form and it's not a PDF, it means because you chose room participants and not pre-tagged roles. Pre-tagged roles automatically puts them on here where room participants does not. But again, let's say this was a flat PDF because it was an offer on the listing that we got. And I want to add the seller's initials everywhere that it needs to be signed. So I can add it. I can add the initials once. Right. Again, I like to duplicate and then just change the color. Right. So now from here, I can select both of these and copy. So if I hit Control C or Command C, depending on what device you're at, as I scroll through each page, I can just hit paste and it automatically pastes it in the same exact spot. So now I can go through here and I can scroll through this very fast with getting this done. Right. So again, this is an easy way. And then when I get to certain sections like this, right? I can copy these and duplicate them, and then I can line them up here, move them around, and then I'm doing the same. I'm doing the, oops, want to highlight them and then duplicate them. And now they're all here. So nice, easy way to do that. There's a lot of rumbling here in Naperville. Let's see here. So again, just to kind of back up, what's going to help you guys the most is taking some time to go into My Docs and your form templates and setting up these templates. Right. So you can go in here, you can create a form template. And this is where you can choose to say, okay, I want to go to my Main Street buyer forms. And maybe this is going to be your 7.0 contract. And this is where you can use them. Yep.
Like, you know how like at 12 o'clock and 6:30 Zoom classes, or is this taught in any of those?
Which, I don't know what classes.
The mentor class.
Oh, the mentor? I'm not sure. Yeah. The question was, is this taught in like the mentorship classes? Which I'm not entirely sure, but they said that it needs to be. Like, this is a good foundational piece. So glad you guys are getting some value from here. But this is a template. So
I
Yep.
can add to that a little bit. I know for agent fundamentals, at least in Downers and Glen Ellen, we do DocuSign as part of agent fundamentals.
Awesome. Yep. Go ahead.
If you're going in to create all of these templates, when you put one in and you put all of your office information, the stuff is going to be the same on each one, no matter what kind of lender or attorney you're using. Can you just like, is there a way that you can copy what you've already created and then start again?
Yes. So I'm gonna show you that. So this is an example template. I'm not going to fill out everything on here, right? But you would fill out your normal stuff on here. But let's say the office information at the end, right? So from here, I can put, I'm not going to fill all of it out. I'm just going to put Keller Williams, right? So let's say that this offer right here was an offer for like FHA buyers that I have. So I'm going to, let's see, click Save and Close. Oops, and actually I did not select a name. Okay, so that's this one. Let me change this. So here's something important. You want to go and change the name on here. So if this is my FHA, 7.0 contract. Oops, 7.0 contract. I'm going to save that there. And then one way to help you create multiple templates like this is, here's this template here. I can go on here in this little drop down and I can copy this, right? So let's say this had all my lender information, my office information, whatever the case was, but I wanted to make a couple changes. I can then go in here and I can change this and I can say that this is going to be my conventional. And then maybe on this specific document, right, I would choose fixed, I would choose conventional, I can do 80%. I always leave the conventional blank because sometimes they do 5% down, 15%, 20%. So I leave that part blank, but that's how you would make those different variations of the contracts to help save you time instead of doing them all one by one, from scratch on there. Okay, what else? Any other questions in the chat that I missed? Let's see. Good.
Thank you so much. 3 hours, like.
I know, right?
It made it writing an offer.
I
now
could have
fun.
literally been eating more cheeseburgers during that time.
You know, well,
Yeah.
where do we find, like, that's a lot of information focused on listing, where can we watch this?
Amy, do you know where we can rewatch? Like, where is this going to be distributed? The video?
So I'll put it on my YouTube channel, and it will be in the E2P training drive. So it'll go on my channel. It'll be available this weekend. I think Laura gets them up pretty quick for the training drive. So if you guys don't know how to get into that, make sure you check with your agent services. And for anybody watching that's not from our group, youtube.com/thesocialstack, and I'll have this up this weekend. I'll put that in the chat too.
Thank you.
Hello?
Yes.
I'm going to share a list of the types of templates that you've created, because I'm trying to think of what else besides FHA, VA, conventional, and I didn't write them all down. Like I didn't have time to write those all down. Could we see that again?
Yeah, sure. So I can show you. So on mine, I have, and it looks like a lot, but again, I have like typically 3 lenders I work with, a couple attorneys. So I have like, I've got my listing agreements with different commissions. I got my incoming and outgoing referral agreements. I got 1 buyer rep agreement. And then I have like a blank one. I have a blank like 7.0 VA one. So if they have their own lender and attorney, that part's blank and I can just fill that part out. I have a regular FHA and conventional one. And then I have somewhat just one of my lenders only. So different variations of one with him. I have some with a lender and one of our other attorneys. I have this lender with another attorney, right? So just depending on who we're using, I can easily just choose this one. So they're pretty much all the same. They just have different people involved, right? So Danny's a lender of ours, Siobhan's an attorney, Patrick's an attorney of ours. So there's just different versions of this depending on who we're using.
I see. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Let's see here. Brandy, can we see Noel's pre-filled sections in the contract again? Are you talking about in the template here?
Yes, I'd like to see your template for, just to get an example of.
Yeah. So I'll do this one like
at the end of the contract.
At the end of the contract?
Yeah, where it says for information only.
You're talking about page 13 of the contract? Well, I'll show you. I'll show you one of my, this is one of my templates currently as well. So on here, I always put on here per survey. I don't try to put the lot size if it's incorrect or something's wrong that it wasn't listed correctly. I put per survey because typically we're going to have a survey on there. Everything else is blank because this all varies. Now I do put 3 days here because we tell all of our clients we should have it within 3 days earnest money delivered, right? And then here, this is a example of our FHA offer. So I put fixed FHA 96.5%. We've got 30-year mortgage. CMR is current market rate. So I don't have to put 3%, 3.5%, just whatever the current market rate. If it exceeds that, the buyers can back out, right? Aside from that, let's see, a lot of this stuff is blank. Because again, it just varies. It'll vary with property and with client. I select all of these boxes on the right because this is typically what we have selected anyways. And I don't have to select them every single time or add check boxes. And then everything else really is blank because we don't know who this is going to apply to until we get to the end. I have our information here for the agent. And then this is a version with this attorney that we use, his name, address, phone number, right? All his info is there. And then also with the lender, their information is also on here as well.
So go back up. So right there, down. So the MLS numbers that we're using is for our brokerage or for our number?
You talking about this MLS here?
Yeah, MLS and state license.
So this one up here is for the brokerage MLS and the brokerage license number. Down here is the agent MLS and the agent license number.
Okay.
But once you do it here once, I don't have to remember about looking at my notes. What is our what is our office MLS ID or license number? It's automatically here.
Yep, that's why I'm doing it now.
Gotcha. Cool.
Well, one more question. What are your tags that are yellow and black? You told us green, blue, and red. How about yellow and black?
Which ones in DocuSign and command here? Is this where you're talking about in command?
Yeah, you said green, financing, blue.
Yes. So I'll show you that here. I have some different tags than what Joe had. So I'm happy to share those and give you guys an idea of what that looks like. So we grouped our tags with different things, right? So we're now keeping track of who's pre-approved, and this is evolving over time, right? Because sometimes we have clients that are in our like our active stage or our cultivate stage, and maybe they've been pre-approved already and maybe they haven't. Our black tags are like our people tags, like any one that's a name on here. This is like, we can identify what agent is representing this. I can find out, let me show 100. So we have the agent, and I did mine as I started going along, so they're all not in order. These are a lot like different lenders or attorneys that we've worked with. That way we can get a good snapshot on who are the people involved with the transaction, right? My red ones are important. So dual agency, as is it a short sale? Is there a home sale contingency? Are they waiving an inspection, right? Is it a Spanish client? Was this an agent referral, right? This is important because I need to make sure that I get the commission filled out correctly to give them a referral. Foreclosure, right? Is there a home warranty, termite inspection, well and septic test? Is it an REO property, right? So the red is all my important stuff, right? Yellow is like type of buildings. Is it a new build, multi-unit, 55 plus community? Is it a detached home? Is it an attached home? And that can really help with a lot of different things. Like we also have, if there's an HOA, if there's a condo, right? So by us utilizing these tags, if we get a new listing and we tag it condo, now my admin knows not to order a sign to get installed in the front lawn because they don't put signs in the yards and condos, right? So that's a good visual indicator on here for that. And then my orange ones are mainly occupancy status. I want to know, is it occupied or is it vacant? And then the green ones are financing, right? And then these ones that I have just as an outline, these are kind of the referral source or the lead source. Like, where did this person come from? Did it come from a vendor? Did it come from an open house, a Facebook ad, marketing, right? Zillow, like wherever it is, I can now keep track of it. And what I was kind of showing with, kind of explaining with Joe, you know, like we do this, and we just started doing this, right? So if I go under all opportunities and I want to look in maybe just any of these fields here, I can say, okay, let's see, I want to look at so I can look at closings, right? I can say, show me any closings that are scheduled for this month. And I can hit apply. And then it'll show me listings that closings that we have scheduled for this month. Let's see. Or if I do like referral, like how many referrals, how about this? How many referrals did we get last year from us tracking this, right? Now I got a list. These are all the referrals that I have from last year. So it's a good way to segment your database and to see all those different data points, right? How many offers, how many deals were as is, right? Like that could be beneficial to know this year if you're talking to a client, like what's the potential of having an as is offer? Well, you know, 95% of our deals were as is last year, right? So, you know, what does that look like, right? So it just gives us better analytics, I think, on what that looks like. We really use it for the referral source, like knowing how many deals came from our sphere, how many were referrals, how many came from Facebook ads. Then we can gauge and keep an eye on like those lead sources and figure out where do we want to pour more money into and what's our strategy going to be for the next year as well. Cool.
In the opportunities, you move your tag to the left. You adjusted the column so you know where all your tags are.
And we're at,
Go back to the.
like in here.
No. I think.
Oh, in context? Hey, I'll repeat the question. I'm just trying to figure out what the question is.
Yeah, so there was, your tags were all allowing in the front. There was not.
That was the opportunity.
Was it in the opportunity, so you would always show your tags in the first, adjusted your columns so that tags. Yeah, you can adjust the columns.
Yeah, you can customize like all. So the question is, how do you adjust these to see when you see tags and things like that? All of this can be adjustable. So if you want to see your tags first, I can say, I can move this up top and then I can save this. And now my tags are going to appear here first.
Then save smart view changes.
And if I want to save this for every single time to stay like this, I would save smart view changes. And now every time I go here, it'll start with all of my tags on here. Cool. What else? Any other questions? Amy, do you got anything?
No, we are, I think we're good. You guys have had awesome questions and you've been doing a great job explaining everything.
We're all in awe.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. We're happy. Go ahead, Amy. You can.
I was gonna say, since you're still here, we got 44 surveys in. So could you pick a random number 1 through 44 and that'll be our winner?
1 through 44.
1 through 44, and I'll tell you who it is and who won the speaker.
Oh, geez, the pressure's on me. Why are you gonna do that to me, Amy? Come on.
Oh, pick somebody out of the room. It doesn't have to be you.
All right. How about we're gonna do this? We're gonna reward the first person who submitted it. Number 1.
Oh, nice. Hey.
Sorry.
I like that.
All right, I'll find out who it is and we'll be able to announce it then.
Awesome.
All right, thank you.
No problem. So if anyone, what I would like to say, if anyone wants to stick around for a workshop, if you want help on building these templates out, check whatever it is, we'll hang around and we'll help you guys kind of figure that stuff out.
Yeah, we'll be on till 4.
Sure.
Any questions in Glen Ellen or Aurora?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
guys so much.